Hey, you guys hear me?
Mario Paint.
Yeah. Wait, what? Oh, am I in trouble for saying something? What did I say?
Yeah, well, I don't know. You just told me we got a DMCA, then you wouldn't tell me what it was. So I assumed that it was one of those stupid Mario Paint covers of yours.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, great. Well, good. I'm glad it happened. So now you can't do it anymore.
I mean, I just played Final Countdown. I don't think that one got us DMCA, but we'll find out, won't we?
Hey, yet, to be fair.
Yeah,
yet.
exactly. Okay, let's.
Is my video quality shitty?
I don't know,
Yes.
you are just shitty in general.
It was for a second there.
No, it looks like shit. What's going on?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Wait,
Let me check.
someone needs to boost the server. Well, no, we still have level 3.
We're still level 3.
Oh no, your server is going to lose a level.
Yeah, it is going to lose a level. So if someone wants to boost the server, we just need one more. But that's fine. I mean, I'll buy it if I have to.
Look at me.
I'll buy it if I have to.
If we had partnership, we wouldn't have to worry about that.
Listen, don't blame me. It's you guys that they don't like. They like me. They just they see my community and they're like, oh, these slimy Jeff Grubb fans. We can't trust them.
Likely story.
Well, I turned it on and off.
Blaming the community.
I'll do it again.
Actually fits his diet root beer. I'll do it again.
I know people in Discord. I'm gonna hit them up and they're gonna fix it for me.
I didn't actually hit him up because
Two fucking years in a row been saying the same shit to me.
Well, I mean, I don't want to go in there. They denied me for a reason. I don't know what the reason is.
Just got nothing but mistakes and lies in his body.
There goes your camera quality again.
That's not on Discord end, at least. It looks, or at least on my end, it looks okay. I don't know.
Okay, yeah, then it's just going through the thing. Let's
give it a second to calm down.
Let's try automatic.
Yeah, put it on Brazil.
Yeah, Brazil.
This is Brazil.
This is Brazil.
What has it been? This is Brazil.
We don't need that high of a bit rate. Let's turn to like 260.
That's just the audio.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, let's give some bandwidth back to the video.
I don't
Okay.
think that's how it works.
We're getting right. I mean, obviously something is hurting it.
I'm sorry.
There's only one pipe. There's only one. There's not like a separate internet pipe for audio.
You're right.
Okay, I don't know how it works, so whatever you say, Jeff, I believe you.
Do you have like?
So Mike has a single pipe leading out of his house, and everything flows through that. So God knows what he's doing on the break there.
I got a pipe for you.
Oh, great.
Thanks, Mike.
Okay.
Cool.
Oh, wow.
What else do we need to do to start the
Should we
show?
call
We
it
need a
challenge?
tweet
That's
and open
too
up Stream
obvious.
Elements or Stream whatever.
I got that. I'm good there. Let's see here.
Pull up the threads on Discord.
It's a series of tubes.
Hey, did you put the thing in the thing about Miyamoto saying no to Wa Peach?
No, but you can bring that up, Jeff.
Okay.
No Wapich?
Okay.
Oh yeah.
They-
By the way, it's gonna bother me so much. It's my from King of Fighters, Mike. My MAI is my,
May.
not May. That's MEI.
Oh, it's my.
This is what I noticed. I was just listening to the
I'll
podcast
just-
last week since I was like on
I
vacation.
just call her boobs.
I should give up.
Dude, we need to hit up Greg Miller and get you guys a fucking Babbel subscription. Because anytime a language other than English comes up on a show, you just
Come on.
fall to pieces.
I give up on it.
My.
See, try to pronounce her last name.
The internet's not a dump truck. It's a series of tubes. Remember that old YTMND
Mhm.
team? Man.
I remember
Mike, do
the
you have,
just
like,
actual news quote.
Hardware
Yeah.
acceleration off or something?
It's
on
fine
your
on mine, and
Discord?
it's something with Jeff is my video's not going through to him well.
Oh, I see.
I think it's with me. It's with your
I mean,
internet.
what is
I
it?
think.
What does my video look like to you,
It
Christian?
looks like shit
on Discord? I mean, not there
Yeah.
on YouTube.
on Discord.
Discord, it looks bad.
Yes.
It's a little fuzzy on
It's a little
Discord.
fuzzy. It's fine. We're fine.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
fine.
I guess we're fine. No, we're not.
Oh, for crying out loud.
It's
to look at my settings.
okay.
Leave a like so Mike's camera started working fine.
There really aren't even any. I do have hardware acceleration on. Should I not?
No, you should have it on.
Oh, okay.
I'm not saying a reboot might fix the problem, but
Well, that's not happening.
historically,
But-
a reboot might fix the
You want
problem.
Mike,
me
do
to-
this.
you want
Do
me to reboot
Control
real quick?
R on
That's-
Discord.
I don't want that.
You don't want that?
I don't want that.
Control R will restart the Discord.
Control what?
If you do Control R, it restarts Discord. It's restarting.
All right.
That had the vibes of just press Alt
Yeah,
F4.
that-
Yeah,
Right.
it really did. I mean, it's basically what he did. I mean,
You got told to do things, and I do them.
Yeah, turn on the camera.
Yeah.
it's the final countdown. Ba-da-dum-bum-bum.
Don't even sing that. You can't even
Taking
swear
a
no
second.
more in YouTube.
Yeah, I might as well
Yeah.
just get DMCA'd because we can't do anything fun anymore. They ruined the fun, brother.
We're gonna go stream to Twitter.
Yeah, my video doesn't even want to work now.
Okay. Oh, cool.
One sec.
There
Wait,
you
you
go.
guys can't even hear me,
Hmm.
can you?
Someone said
Yeah,
don't
we can hear
reboot,
you.
and I just can't remember who it was. Who said don't
Only
reboot?
you. I think everyone else wanted me to
You?
reboot.
Okay.
It's not even working, so I'm just gonna reboot real quick.
Aha!
See you, losers.
Ah, you broke the camera, and now he has to reboot. That's not.
That's Christian. Don't blame me.
That was me.
Listen, all mods look alike.
It looked like shit, brother.
Christ.
All right, this is
This is the first time we
thought
do
we
a
were gonna
podcast,
start
okay?
like pretty timely. I was like, okay, I'm gonna play the final countdown.
That's not
I got
true.
everything ready to go, and then I was like, we'll be good to go. And then
He's got an SSD in there, doesn't he? He'll be
yeah,
back
it'll
soon.
restart in no time. Yes.
Yeah.
He's still here.
Yeah, Discord's weird like
He's
that. You
finding
just, like,
the button to restart.
He's
He's
still right there. Hello, Mike.
Yeah, you think it restarted the computer has like go and cut off the lights, the electricity on the entire house, and then turn it back again.
All right, let's.
He's doing the random Jurassic Part 1 when they had to restart. Oh my god!
Remind me to plug this directly in so I can have a no latency version of Mike Tyson for tomorrow.
Plug what?
Nothing.
Who are you talking to?
This guy. I'm a bitch.
Mike is still here. Well, we have Sean here. He can tag in.
Yeah, everyone likes me better than Mike anyways. You already got the better host.
That's true. I'm normally much better at Mike Tyson's Punch Out. I'm just trying to like learn how to maximize getting stars and stuff.
Oh damn!
They all say.
There you go.
There he is.
And he looks better now.
I mean, he looked better for like the first 30 seconds last time too.
Oh yeah, that's true. Now he's
back.
Well,
all right. Okay.
He looks way better. He doesn't look like artifacty.
Hey, you guys hear me?
Yeah, farty.
No, there it goes.
Oh,
Don't worry,
cool.
It's a
Don't worry
Discord
about
thing. We tried everything we
fuck
could.
Discord.
Cool. Look at that. Good restart,
Fuck
everybody.
Discord for this and for
I want
not
the
giving us
vibes out of
power.
here. I can't handle you guys anymore. All right.
look, it wasn't my fault. I'm just doing what I'm told.
I know. Yeah,
You did
I'm
good,
not,
Mikey.
Mike, I'm
You
not
did
mad at
good,
you.
Mike. You're a
Man's
good boy, Mike.
problem.
Don't
I'm
listen to this
disappointed, but I'm
hater.
not mad. All right.
Thank you.
Mike, are you ready?
I got to open up MPD again real quick,
Okay.
in my rundown.
20 more minutes, everybody. Hang in there.
You can start the music. I'll have it up by the time it starts.
All right. 5, 4, 3.
Hey, you guys hear me? Start cheering now! Yeah, let's get this over with. Yeah.
Woof woof. Hi, I'm Mike Minotti, and I am a Nintendog.
Hi, I'm Jeff Grubb, and I am a Nintendog.
And we are the last of the Nintendogs. Today, Jeff has his RTX thing on, so it's really hard for me to hear the music when he plays it. But also, we are going to be talking about Fire Emblem Engage's reviews. And speaking of disappointing sequels, we're going to be talking about the most disappointing Nintendo sequels. That's mean. I don't know if Fire Emblem Engage is disappointing or not. I just have concerns. How about you, Jeff? What are you concerned about these days?
I'm concerned about you concerned trolling. I can't believe you are concerned trolling. You are putting clickbait in the titles. You're lost. You're lost cause. Lost cause.
Yeah, I have a. Yeah, the title was just. Or the banner was me saying, I don't even know, worried, which I've been saying for months about this game. And it's okay. I mean, I always want to just jump into it, but before we do, if you are watching live, thank you so much. You can put a thumbs up on the video. That helps us out immensely. If you're watching live, you can also leave a super chat. We will read those before the end of the show, maybe even during the middle of the show, but they will all get read. You can ask us a question. You can contribute to our topic this week, which is most disappointing Nintendo sequels or sequels on a Nintendo platform, whatever you want. So it's going to be a fun time. Okay, so let's just get into it, Jeff, because the Metacritic's out for Fire Emblem Engage, and it's an 82.
Yes.
That's the average with a bunch of reviews. I forget how many, a bunch.
60-ish.
And you could say, okay, yeah, 80s, that's good. I mean, that's down pretty significantly from the 89 that Three Houses got, one, and then two, well, most of the reviews are kind of echoing the thing I was worried about, where they say, yeah, the story's bad and the characters aren't very good. So, yeah, I don't know, that bums me out.
Yeah, Fire Emblem has really strong gameplay. The weapon triangle, whatever it's called, has always been great. All that stuff has always worked. What really did set Awakening and Three Houses apart from everything else, or made them very attractive, is that the writing just kept getting better and better, and the characters kept getting cooler and cooler. And I think that a Fire Emblem game needs that strength, that pillar to go along with the gameplay to really stand out. I'm a little worried about this too, Mike.
Yeah, so let's check out some of the reviews here. One of the more positive ones is a 90 from Game Informer. They say Engage's characters and social systems never quite hit the high bar set by Three Houses, but does surpass its predecessor in almost every other way. Players looking for deep customization, expertly crafted strategy, RPG combat, and a heartfelt story with adoration for more than 30 years of Fire Emblem history will find that and more in Engage. And then kind of on the lower end here, there's a 70 from GameSpot that says, while Fire Emblem's combat mechanics have never been better, Engage's story and structure lack the ambition of its predecessors. The result is a predictable and straightforward romp that's carried by its fantastic presentation and engaging combat. So it's this thing where reading the reviews helps a lot because there's a consensus, it seems like, on what the strengths and weaknesses are of this game. It's just a matter of how much does that matter to you. And I've seen some people say, well, good. I don't like all those social aspects that have been creeping their way into the series. I think that's kind of fluff and filler. I mean, I've always liked that. I think it kind of helps build this, better cohesion amongst all the characters, makes me care about those things more. Yeah. But even if it's not that, it's going to be a bummer if the story, no matter how much of it there is or not, is kind of like bland, generic, fight for my friends, JRPG stuff.
Yeah, I will be curious to see, so if I put my characters together on a battle map and they're fighting side by side, they don't get that social link anymore? Is that what they're saying?
I'm not sure exactly. I mean, I know there is still a hub area you go back to between missions, but it sounds like there's not nearly as much stuff as
I'm okay with that. But I want, if I have two characters actually fighting side by side very frequently, I want that to have. Okay, so J. Arthur in chat says they do. I'm kind of in a mood with Fire Emblem where I might welcome less stuff at the hub area. I think Three Houses was pretty good, but it maybe was a little bit too much at the school, maybe a little bit too much class for me by the end. So I welcome that a little bit.
I can see that too, honestly. I wouldn't really necessarily mind pulling back from that. What worries me more is the idea of the story just being bland and the characters kind of feeling bland.
And you need the characters to fuck, right? You're always saying this.
Well, not that, but I just don't want it to be, the big story beat is that the guy gets encouraged by his friends and then he gets stronger, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that kind of thing. And I don't know why, but that's just always the vibe that this one has been throwing at me. You still have support conversations, stuff like that in your face, saying it's just not, that stuff isn't as robust as it has been before. But the question is, well, what takes its place exactly?
Yeah.
Instead, it's the weapon triangle's back, which even as somebody who played Three Houses and stuff, I'm always confused. I didn't realize that went anywhere exactly. I mean, there's still weaknesses and strengths. I guess it just wasn't literally a triangle anymore. I don't know exactly what people mean when they talk about the triangle going away and coming back.
I guess I don't know that either. I assumed it was always there, but I might have forgotten that aspect to it. The biggest thing for me...
a pentagon, okay.
Okay, pentagon. Okay, that sounds right, too.
Now it's a triangle again, so I guess, yay.
Yeah, there was a lot going on in Three Houses. When I played Awakening, there was a character named Donald, and he starts off super weak, and then if you, take care of him, and you treat this good boy like the good boy that he is, he turns into a real fucking badass. And as long as there's something equivalent to that in this game, I'm probably going to have a pretty good time. As long as they give me some characters that I can shepherd and turn into real cool dudes over a course of several battles, that's the key to a really good Fire Emblem game to me. Now, a really good Fire Emblem game is not necessarily the all-time great Fire Emblem games that we've gotten with Awakening, where it's okay, now put on top of that, this actually really great social system, and this thing where you're combining characters together, and then they're having kids, and they're coming back, and you're fighting alongside of them. All that stuff really was fantastic in Awakening, but they aren't going to do that again. They haven't done that again. And so them trying different things, I understand that. I'm kind of glad that it's not this sort of half-baked version of that, where it's I kind of felt like what happened in Three Houses, where I still really like Three Houses, but it was they're kids in school, and so obviously it was never going to be about getting married and having kids, even as they got older, and all that stuff really affected things. It was still, the relationships were important, but it wasn't quite as effective in the gameplay as Awakening was. I'm okay, yeah, so maybe try something different in some other directions, and it doesn't sound like this is fully successful, but I get them trying different things.
And I agree that I didn't want Three Houses 2. The way that Echoes was just Awakening 2 in kind of awkward ways, and it just kind of felt like a lesser version of that. I'm glad they just didn't do that for sure. And Echoes was not as good as Awakening. I still enjoyed Echoes, and maybe I'll kind of feel that way about this, just in terms of being a follow-up to a pretty big high point for the series, I guess. Also, Chad is saying that there is apparently a character that's pretty much just like Donald in this.
Then I'm good.
There you go. I mean Fates? Yeah, what the hell is Echoes? Oh, Echoes was that remake of Ninja Fire Emblem Gaiden. Thank you, chat.
Right,
yeah, Fates.
It's the one between.
Can't remember its name.
Yes, I can. Yeah, the Fates and then Echoes happened right after Fates, right? Yeah.
Thank you, chat.
I think that's how it went. But yeah, I mean, not every Fire Emblem game hits with me the same, but I do enjoy all of them. So I'm still going to be checking this out.
Yeah, me too. And again, I know I kind of been poo-pooing this for a bit now, and I still feel like I'm not going to like this as much again as those big high points for me were, Three Houses, and then even more so than that, Awakening was still my favorite. So we'll see. This comes out very soon. We'll be checking it out by the end of the week. So that'll be exciting. Jeff, the NPDs for December are
and
out
for the
there.
year.
And for the year, that's right. Well, here's some info from this, because the U.S. consumer spending on video game content, hardware, and accessories totaled $7.6 billion in December 2022, an increase of 2% when compared to a year ago. Video game hardware grew 16%, offsetting declines in both content and accessories. PlayStation 5 was the best-selling platform of both December and the 2022 year in hardware dollar sales, while Switch ranked first across both time periods in units sold. So all the consoles seem to be doing well here.
Yes.
It's nice that December saw an overall increase, I guess, probably because there weren't as many supply problems with the PlayStation 5
right.
and the Xbox Series X. So that helped, and hopefully we can kind of continue that, and we can start seeing more growth again in 2023.
Yeah, I think that Switch will continue slipping just ever so slightly. Zelda's probably going to alleviate some of that, but probably not to the point where, we'll get to the holidays and the Switch will have a diminishing returns again this holiday. They kind of did that for the first time this past holiday. But we are due for something new there. So they're going to have time, a little bit of time to slowly shift to whatever's next. And the Switch will keep selling, but not at the rate it was. And in the meantime, these other consoles are doing just great.
Here's so December 2022 top selling games. Number 1's Call of Duty, and then 2 is Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, actually going up a slot from the previous month, swapping with God of War Ragnarok, which went to number 3. So both those games holding well, but Pokemon obviously holding a little bit better, which I don't think is too shocking. Other kind of Nintendo related things. Sonic Frontiers actually only dropped 2 slots from 4 to 6. That's a pretty good hold for Sonic. Not related, but Need for Speed Unbound debuted at number 8, which seems okay for Need for Speed. Mario Kart 8 still just at number 9. It was in the top 10 again, of course, for Christmas. Number 10 was Crisis Core, which is a pretty decent debut for a Final Fantasy VII remaster of not exactly a mainline game, right? So that's nice. Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope. So it debuted at 14 last month. It was actually up a slot at number 13. So that's something. I don't even know if it did
for that game.
Yeah, it didn't debut at 14, excuse me, but last month it was 14. Yeah, now it was 13.
I'm actually curious to see where it is, if it made the top 10. Okay, so this is the top 10 Nintendo platform best-selling games of the entire year. It is not in that top 10. So number 10 is Splatoon 3. Excuse me. Then Mario Party Superstars is number 9. Going up, Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, Animal Crossing New Horizons, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Nintendo Switch Sports, Kirby and the Forgotten Land, Mario Kart 8, Pokemon Legends Arceus, and then number 1, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet.
That's pretty good for Kirby. Kirby is the 4th best-selling Switch game of the year.
Yes, very good for Kirby. Now, which publisher, Mike, do you think had the most games in the top 20 for 2022?
Nintendo.
Yes, Nintendo had 6 games. Let's see, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate was number 20. That game is how old now? 3 years?
Something like maybe 4, Jeff.
Maybe
honestly.
4. Okay, yeah.
I think it's 4.
Nintendo Switch Sports was number 19. Then you jump up to number 14 for Kirby and the Forgotten Land. Again, all of these are without digital sales, and most games on the chart do include digital sales. Number 11, Mario Kart 8. So not making the top 10 for probably the first time ever. Mario Kart 8, I think.
Yeah, right? Look at
that.
that.
Wow. I have to look back. That might not be right, but it feels right. Pokemon Legends Arceus was number 8. And then this is for the entire. Yeah, this is for the entire year. And then number 6, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. And again, no digital sales. So
yeah, I was about to say it almost seems kind of low, but again, yeah, no digital sales.
Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga, a multi-platform game, obviously right above that. But I think if you include the digital sales for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, it probably outsold that. Probably outsold God of War Ragnarok too, a first-party exclusive game, and that's at number 4. So. Yeah, just it's huge for Nintendo. I think the next closest company might be Sony. Sony had 3
Yeah,
games on
because
there.
God of War was very big, and then
Yes. Horizon
did well,
and then Gran Turismo
also
7.
showed up,
Yep, exactly.
kind of quietly showing up there. Again, not a lot of people talk about that, but
Gran Turismo always sells. Always sells.
yeah. One other kind of interesting thing about the NPD for December, it's not Nintendo really. Callisto Protocol debuted at 17. Now that didn't include digital sales, also like Nintendo games for whatever
Man, I didn't even
reason.
see that. That is rough.
That seems very. I mean, I heard somebody tell me, and I can't remember. I don't know where they got this from. That they were expecting to sell 5 million copies of that.
Yeah, so
which seemed.
I talked about that in Game S Mornings today. Now, I mean, optimistic, but it's also necessary.
You didn't do a Game S Mornings today. You did a
Bombcast. Yeah, sorry, I was putting the news together, and I just was thinking about it that way. It was it apparently had a budget of $160 million, and that's a big number. And so with that number, they're like, we need to sell 5 million. And probably part of that is internally, when you say, hey, we need another $80 million to finish this game, they're like, well, we can't do that. Well, we think this game's going to sell 5 million. And then everyone talks themselves into that. And that's just how this happens. Now,
Jeff, it took Final Fantasy VII Remake like a bit of effort to sell 5 million.
Yeah, but you also like Death Stranding got the 5 million in like that first year. I could see how they talk themselves into it.
Yeah, but that's
it's like closer to 2 million apparently. And I think the key thing there is it's not a very good game, right? Most people don't seem to like Callisto Protocol, and that's going to hurt your chances of selling 5 million copies no matter what.
There's even a world though, Jeff, where that is a good game that reviewed well, and you still don't reach 5 million copies.
I think if you're a good game and you're a survival horror and you could you take off with that community, I think you get to 4 pretty easily actually, and then 5 maybe takes a little bit extra. But now they're at 2, and to get to 3 and 4 million, they're going to have to discount that game heavily, and it's in a real rough spot.
You'll sell 5 million.
Yeah, they will sell 5 million, right? Sales. But yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. I was doing air quotes for the audio listeners. Next thing here, Jeff. Nintendo's sending emails to people telling them that they should play Super Mario Odyssey, and because nothing can just be as it appears, everyone's freaking out and thinking that this might mean that they're going to announce Super Mario Odyssey too soon. What's your take
I'm ready to believe,
this,
Mike. This is it. They're doing it. 3D Mario. It's happening. Here we go. You know what's a good game? Super Mario Goddamn Odyssey. What a great game.
Oh, it's one of the best games ever. Definitely my top 5. It's insane how much I like that game.
And I made that game. I'd be emailing people too, like, yo, we made this. You should check this out.
You should play that.
You played it before? Play it again, bitch. It's that good.
I mean, I have.
Me too. I've played it like 4 times now.
It's so good.
Emmy has fully renounced Mario because she likes Kirby so much, and I'm like, God damn it.
That's such a little kid thing, right?
Yeah.
You have to do the other one dirty. You can't just be I like
so
this new thing.
We were so into Mario there, and I was like, I love Kirby, but it was Kirby and Mario back and forth all the time. Now it's just nonstop Kirby, and it's oh man, I'm looking over at Odyssey I miss you. It's a good game.
You know what's best? I've had multiple people tell me I look thin, Jeff, and it's literally nothing has changed except I grew the beard back. I don't have the beard. I have my Boss Nass double chin. That's it. This is why I can never do that again. It looked way worse than I thought.
I promise you, mine is just as bad. If I shave mine, it's not happening.
Yeah, it's not a good look. I don't think this necessarily means we're going to get a sequel. I mean, look, maybe they're like, hey, the evergreen sales of Mario Odyssey specifically have slowed down a bit. Why don't we just email people who have Switches and tell them to play it? But I don't know. There's so many reasons.
If you made Super Mario Odyssey, wouldn't you just immediately start on Super Mario Odyssey 2?
I don't know why you wouldn't just immediately do exactly what you did with Mario Galaxy with that. But again, it's almost like, well, how did we not get that already? And I know you've pointed out, well, they did Bowser's Fury in between.
Bowser's Fury.
And that could slow things down a bit. And the timing could be awkward in terms of, well, we're already talking about Zelda right now. So there's definitely a chance, but I am very far away from being like, yeah, I believe. I'm not going to echo the dolphin this one, I guess is what I'm saying.
Let's put the thing under the email. Let's get it, put it underwater. See what happens.
Put it underwater. Then it'll all make sense. Exactly.
I'm never gonna get over that.
No.
Oh man, that shit. I just Star Trek 4. We just watched Star Trek 4 too many times. That is our main issue. That's our main problem on this podcast. Yeah. This is a podcast made by people who've seen Star Trek 4 too many times.
Jeff, Nintendo Switch is now the best-selling console of all time in France at 7.1 million consoles sold via Le Figaro. Now, I can't read French, but I think it's saying that this beat the record, which was set by PlayStation 4, which had sold about 6 million units. So that's pretty nice. I imagine that we're going to be hearing more countries where this is going to be
It's just going to, this year, it's going to cross so many of those thresholds. Yep. It's, obviously at a certain point, like the big thing here is like Nintendo used to have 2 consoles, and that really did split its market up a little bit. If you were a little kid, and you almost a lot of times you probably just got a DS or maybe even just a 3DS, or you were much less likely to have both. Now it's like, well, there isn't both. There's just the one, and so everyone's getting this one Nintendo system, whether you're playing Mario, Zelda, or Pokemon. Well, now they're all on the same thing, so that clearly has helped. But still, it's a really impressive feat for any console to sell that much, and well done.
Jeff, you insisted I put this in the rundown here, but apparently, after Waluigi was greenlighted.
Yeah, that's not like that was how it was written in the thing. So yeah,
that's not my bad. I'm just reading words here. Nintendo staff tried to pit Walu Peach, but Miyamoto vetoed it.
He's a coward.
I just want to know if the pitch included concept art, and I wish I could see it.
Yes, please. Just whoever wants to leak that to me. I don't even need. I won't share it. I just need that for my own personal use. Also, it would just be Peach, right? Waluigi Peach. Like no, it's just
Walu.
Peach.
Yeah,
Wa is like the thing that means like evil
Peach.
in Japanese, right?
Walu Peach. I don't know. I mean, you think it would just be Luigi at first? Remember, that's the big complaint with Waluigi at the time. Then they had to explain how Wa meant some evil thing or something. I don't know. Well, how would you make Peach evil? Do you like like what? Like how do you make her appearance? I guess we already
you just make her a brunette, and that's basically it. That's
so Daisy. So right here,
I did post that. She's basically Mai. Like Wa Peach is Mai from King of Fighters. Is that the right thing?
Yeah, I was gonna. Okay, I'm glad you're saying because I didn't want to say. I was like, do you just make her dress more skimpy?
Yeah. She basically you up the cup size and show the cleavage, and that's about it. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. But Mai's a good girl. Oh no, she's not a good girl. She wasn't allowed in Smash. That's right.
Right. Smash is for good girls and good boys. Mai is definitely not. Yeah.
Okay. Well, fair enough. All right, Jeff. Well, that is it.
Make her Dom, says Johnny Navy. All right.
That's it for the news, Jeff. Do you want to get into some stuff from our podcast producers, or do you want to take a break now? What do you want me to do? You tell me.
Let's take a quick break.
Okay.
All right, cool. It's going. We can start back up whenever you're ready.
Are we taking a second break later, or is that the only break?
It depends on how long we go.
Let me go to the bathroom.
Okay. Yeah, sure thing.
Backup drink.
Get that. Well, we'll see if YouTube lets us continue to be monetized. But if we do, let's get that money. We'll get the pot. Yeah, listen, anything goes on the old RSS feeds. All right, we can do whatever we want there. There's no laws. And podcast feeds? Are you kidding me? What? Stop what?
Stop swearing. Don't swear. Don't swear. We're going to lose all the money.
Oh, man. I love swearing so much, though. God, I love swearing.
I think that was the only one who swore during this transmission.
I love it.
Who else swore? I don't remember.
You didn't get a notification, huh, Sweet Life? I tell you, YouTube's out to fuck me.
There we go.
Yeah, I swore for you. Okay.
Is piss a swear? I don't think. Piss is just a thing.
No, piss is just good, clean family fun.
Yeah.
That's right, Jeremy G. I that's my favorite thing to yell when I'm messing up in a video game. It's just piss. Piss. It's a good one. It does feel feels like a swear word. I mean, I suppose it's like a really mild one, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Nas wants me to give away thousands of dollars by creating a swear jar. It's a word. Yeah. Piss has got a pungent odor to it. The word, not well. Obviously, the thing does, but the word does too.
Depends what you drink.
Spelled P-E-S. P-E-E-E-Y-U-S. Yes. It's going good, Spheromancer. If anyone's just showing up right now, we're on a quick break. Mike's going potty. We're going to get back to it all. Let's see, I'll do
what, Benji? What the... Chef, do you hear Mike spent $80 on Fantasy Critic Biting last week?
Oh, no.
That can't be real.
Oh, he did not. Did he mess up real bad?
Mike,
What
happened?
Mike, you didn't mess up your fantasy critic that bad, did you?
Oh my god, guys, I keep telling you, I don't know how this works. I don't understand, whatever. No, you guys are like, oh, I can't believe he did that.
Listen,
I
I'm just
don't know,
finding,
It's just a very
bad.
stupid thing to do,
I'm just
Mike.
finding out now.
Why is it, I even asked, like, I've even asked, you need to have all these things filled out? And you guys are like, oh, no, not really. I was like, okay, well, then I'll try to get 2 more games.
No, we said
So
the literal opposite of that, Mike.
Whatever.
Oh.
I don't care.
I think you can still pull it off, Mike. I think you can still pull it
I
off.
think it's also still fine.
Yeah, with
It's
Final
considered-
Fantasy VII Rebirth coming out this
It's
year.
not that ridiculous. You thought it
You
was
dumb
ridiculous. Pikmin
motherfucker.
4 was coming out, which still was weird take to
Yes,
me.
that is weird. Absolutely.
I'm just giving you shit on that one because like we don't know that one's coming out. You just seem so confident. I
Pikmin
found
4
it
is coming
funny.
out. I'll be fine.
I also think Final Fantasy VII Rebirth could totally come out in December. Like, it totally could.
It's not coming out in December.
could.
They're not. It could, yes. The Earth could
fine.
just hurdle into the sun tomorrow. I don't think it's going to.
All right,
though.
listen, never say never.
All right.
All right, get out of here.
I'm
We're
tired
starting
of
back up.
everybody bullying me. Get out of here.
All
I'll
right,
just
Mike.
pick up a bunch of games for cheap that no one else is going to bid on, and they'll be fine.
You have plenty of money left. You'll be fine. All right. Let's see, Mike. I'm ready whenever you are to bring it back
Let
in.
me get up this thing. What is this? What's fantasy? Wait a second. Oh, here they are. Get my glasses on so I can read these. Okay, I'm ready.
All right, bring it back in.
That's right, I do that. And we are back. We are going to read some questions here from our podcast community, Jeff, on Discord. First up is from Jamie. It says, you can bring one thing commonly found in video games to use in your day-to-day life. Fast travel, quick saving, stat boosting foods, etc. What do you pick? Man, I don't know. There's nowhere I really want to fast travel to unless I can like fast travel to Disney World, I suppose. How about extra lives? Extra lives. There we go. I'd like to have extra lives.
That's feels like cheating, but yeah. No, I guess it's true.
Sure.
Yeah. All right. So the question is like, what power up basically from games, or what item I
What
could?
thing? Anything. Like, what thing commonly found in video games. So, there are examples for fast travel and quick saving. Quick saving would be good because it's like that thing where it's like you just get to retry an infinite amount of times.
What's that thing they have in Mass Effect where you talk to the characters and they talk you back and they like, oh, friends. I would like friends. That's
Jesus Christ.
that's
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. Probably like a double. I always just want a double jump. Now I totally hurt myself the first time I did
That
it.
would be great, actually.
But I want a double jump.
Ooh, how about just not having fall damage in general? What if you just
no
have the
fall
ability
damage.
to fall
Hell
from
yes.
any
Oh,
height?
that would rule. My kid literally needs that right now so bad.
No fall damage. Dr. Sus says, hey, Jeff, Toothpaste Man, Grubb, and Mike, Sonic is greatest franchise ever, Minotti. There was a controversy in Brazil because the new sports minister said that while she recognizes that esports are competition and athletes work very hard, it's entertainment and not a sport. She compared it to a singer who also practices very hard and works very hard to put on a show. Since esport, the actual sports, not the competition, since the games are owned by private businesses and these competitions are basically marketing, should esports be classified as sports by governments? I do not know.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it means to what end? If we're talking about like taxation, because that's the only reason I could think of why the government would care about how you classify any of it. And even then, it's like, why would sports be taxed different than entertainment? But whatever. I'll say for one thing, doesn't matter unless we're talking about the taxes thing. And then number two, it's at a certain point, the difference between sports and competition is it barely exists. Like if it's a competition, people are going to be entertained by it in the same way they're entertained by watching sports. So yeah, go for it.
I don't think Jeff and I ever want to get too caught up on like classifications. Like, you can never have a our games art conversation with us because we just don't care, right?
Yeah,
this is
exactly.
very adjacent to that kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Vision says, are we inching towards a world where some AAA development gets too unwieldy and publishers and studios collapse under the weight of themselves, having to shrink either their staff or the scope of their development? Do you think economic pressure could force this sooner rather than later. Oh, sure. I mean, it's happened.
It's
before
happening
with
all the
that.
time right now, like all the
Yeah.
time. Yeah.
But there's always like other publishers or other developers that kind of starting and coming up.
Yes.
And they can always rise up these things. You know, we used to have studios like Acclaims and your Midways, and they ain't around anymore. And they used to be very, very big deals, right?
Yep.
So you know, I guess there's been like something that felt like a stableness in terms of who are the major publishers, even though Bethesda basically just disappeared and became part of Microsoft. But yeah, I mean, you know, a world where an Ubisoft doesn't exist, and I assume that's who we're talking about here. That's totally a very possible reality.
Yep. I think Mike pretty much nailed it. It is. It's basically that is always happening. Games have been unsustainable as they are for. I mean, honestly, I think the first time I ever said that was on like a podcast I had before this one even. And so yeah, like we were always going to reach a point where things are going to get like reach ahead and get even worse or be more obvious in front of our eyes like they are with Ubisoft right now. But it's kind of always been this way. And the trick is finding like these publishers need to find new ways to stave off that the threat of their own extinction, because if you can find something that makes a ton of money like a Call of Duty, well, yeah, that games are unsustainable, but this one's fine. And then at a certain point,
there's one.
Yeah, they got one, and that's kind of all that they really need to hit. But Ubisoft's in a situation where they don't have that, so they're going to be in trouble.
Super Harmon says, I'm watching GDQ, and one of the prizes is a Kirby scented candle. What does Kirby smell like? Jeff, I'll let you have first go at this.
A balloon. He smells like the rubbery, plasticky balloon smell. Yeah.
I mean, I'll just go with that. That's pretty good. Screaming Madden says, hey, Mike, Dan Reichert is canceled for his Disneyland opinions, Minotti, and Jeff. For once, I agree with Mike Grubb. With Super Nintendo World and Universal Studios having early showings, I'm reminded that Mario and Luigi have animated faces, which makes me chuckle to see. Peach moves her eyes and mouth but doesn't blink. Anyway, my question is, how do you two feel about Disney and now Nintendo having emoting costume characters? Do you think it adds to the immersion of meeting those characters, or do you find it creepy? I like it. Disney's been doing it for a bit now with like their stage shows. They used to have a thing where you could meet Mickey and he would talk to you and stuff, and then they actually got rid of the talking stuff, and it is noticeably worse. Like it doesn't feel quite as good. I mean, there is something like, you know, Mickey's there talking to you, moving around. It does look weird at first. If you go to Disney World a lot like me, you're just used to these things being plastic, unmoving heads, right? But it's I think it's cool. I like it.
I like it too.
Gigantes says, good evening, Mike. Bitch, you are in charge.
Gigantes, I think is what he said. That's how we pronounce the name. Gigantes.
Oh my God, I was hoping it was like somebody with a kink.
Yeah, I love, yes, giantesses, yes.
Giantesses, right? That's a thing. Yeah.
It is,
I thought
yeah.
they were like Lady Deborah Straw.
That's a thing on the internet and in my journal.
How do I say it, Jeff? Excuse me?
Gigantes, I think.
Gigantes. Like Cervantes from Soul Calibur. Yeah.
I thought you were gonna make it's like Cervantes, like the author, but yeah, okay, yeah.
No, the pirate. Good evening, Mike. Bitch, you are in charge, Minotti. And Jeff will break their backs at Grubb. Since I'm a former Spotify listener, I used to hear Jeff talk about Anchor for ad breaks. Is there an alternative universe out there with someone named Anchor trying to sell me the Grubb app? What I want to know is, what is Anchor's podcast about, and what is the Grubb app? Have a good week. We don't even use Anchor anymore, right?
No, we don't. We switched to Spreaker. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, Anchor tries to sell me the Grubb app. Yeah,
the Grubb app exists. It's just Grubhub.
Yeah, exactly. Right? I will get you the food you need. I will listen. I know you're up late. I will fuck you up with whatever food you need. I'm here for you. I'll blow your back out.
B. Traven says the Nintendo seal of quality is mostly deserved, as Nintendo is one of, if not the greatest developers. What other company's name carries similar cachet with you? From Software is the only one that comes to mind for me. I mean, the Nintendo seal of quality wasn't just for Nintendo games that was the problem. They put that shit on a bunch of bad third-party games.
I also, I long ago, like during the Nintendo Entertainment System era, I thought the seal of quality did not mean shit. So it's not something I thought was mostly deserved at the time.
Yeah, I don't know if there's any, like, I guess Ghibli, I still feel like, oh, Ghibli made something, then it's probably at least pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Ghibli.
Yeah, but they made now they made that 3D animated one that I haven't watched.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Yeah, I just ignore that. I mean, yeah, nobody's perfect. I remember when Pixar was like batting 100 for what felt like forever.
An impossibly long time, yeah.
Yeah, and it was insane. And, even they couldn't keep that up. So, I don't know. Nobody.
What developer? Yeah, it's like real
No
tough.
king rules forever. There are definitely developers where I'm like, I bet most of their stuff I'm gonna like. Capcom comes to mind for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's perfect. Big Tony says, "My dogs. When do you think we're getting
Super
Nintendo
Giant? Sorry, I remember the game. Super Giant. There you go. Okay.
Oh, okay. Wait, what does Super Giant do?
Hades.
Is that the Hades people? Yeah. I don't like Transistor. I thought Transistor was.
I never played Transistor, so I think that's the big helper there.
The tone of it drove me crazy. It was like everybody was on Ambien. Everybody talked real sleepy. Like it was a little much for me. Big Tony says, "My dogs. When do you think we're getting Nintendo Selects for Switch games before or after new hardware releases, or will they forever be 60? They're going to be 60.
No,
because I said like, oh, I want to play Pikmin 3 because thing, and I like look. I'm like, man, I really don't feel like I should be paying $60 for Pikmin 3.
You know that scene.
To pull that trigger.
You know that scene in Jurassic Park where with the lawyer's like, we'll have a coupon day. Play that scene, but add a laugh track when he says coupon day, because that's what's happening at Nintendo. They're like, we will occasionally sell this to you on sale for $45, maybe, and that's it.
Benji Klasky is a very bad boy, Jeff. Very bad boy. He says, "Hello, fighters of freaking dragons. Would you drink milk, Pepsi plus milk? No,
I would not.
No.
I do think like there's a strong chance that would make me vomit. The amount of carbonation in Pepsi combined with milk, a disgusting drink in general. Like
it's awful.
Yeah, no, thank you.
This is my least favorite question ever. Tink says
we'll make that whoever finishes last in the game review. What is the Metacritic thing? Fantasy Critic. Thank you. They'll have to drink Pilk. There we go.
I'll drop out right now. I'm not risking it. There's no way. I would never. Tink says, if Kingdom Hearts didn't exist, Jeff's dream, what would be the best Mickey Mouse game? I have a soft spot for Mickey Mouse Capade. It would be probably Castle of Illusion, which is the Genesis 16-bit game, which rules. Now there's a Master System version of it, and a Master System exclusive called Land of Illusion, which are apparently both very good, that I would like to play. Then Mickey Mania is good, but not as good as Castle of Illusion. I liked World of Illusion, where you play as Mickey and Donald. It's almost more of a puzzle co-op platformer. That's good. And then the Super Nintendo game, what is it called? You play as Mickey and then you can play as Mickey and Minnie in the sequel, which was like circus themed. Can't remember, but Castle of Illusion is the answer. How about you, Jeff?
That newer Castle of Illusion. Was it called Castle of Illusion again?
The one for DS that nobody remembers, but me.
Yeah, but it's available for Steam as well.
You just mean the remake? The remake that they did.
Yeah, the remake.
Yes, it's just called Castle of Illusion. Okay.
Yeah.
So nobody remembers, but they made like a epic Mickey spinoff called Power of Illusion for the DS that actually just played like the Castle of Illusion games, and I liked it. It was very short, but it was good. Nobody remembers it though. But yes, they did do a cool Castle of Illusion remake not too long ago. I wish the answer was Epic Mickey, but that didn't really live up to the potential.
No.
Wong Gift says, "Hi, Mike, Jimmy Minotti, and Jeff Bimmy Grubb. Everyone assumes that the Switch 2 will be backwards compatible, but given that the Switch is portable, it doesn't need to be plugged into a TV once its successor's out. Do you think Nintendo will see that as an out? Also, would having to stick with the current physical format of a Switch card be a limiting factor in any forward technological progression?" I mean, I don't think they could really justify it like that. I mean, you could have said that about the 3DS and the DS, or the DS to the Game Boy Advance. I mean, they added a Game Boy Advance cartridge slot to the DS to make sure that was backwards compatible.
Yeah, I think they will they'll make the effort to make it as backward compatible as possible. I think there's still a strong chance that it won't be perfect and there might be some serious flaws, but I think they will make an effort, a surprising effort from Nintendo, but I think they'll make an effort.
Do you think it might not literally read Switch carts, like all your digital stuff work, and maybe they'll find a way to like convert that stuff to digital, but maybe it won't read like those Switch. I don't want to say cartridges. I know you get mad, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I think it'll be able to like read them. I think you'll be able to plug them into your thing. I just think that it'll have to be maybe some, and again, I don't know exactly how it works. I think it might be some soft emulation because the X1 is a different system design than what they're going to end up probably using. So I think there's a strong chance that those things will need updates. And if they don't get updates, they'll have to have some sort of system level translator in there to help to make sure that stuff works exactly right. But I think NVIDIA will probably provide some solution there for Nintendo to use.
Bayleaf Moon says, "Hello, Mike. I used to dress up as Mega Man as a child, Minotti, and Jeff, I still dress up as E.T. from Atari, Grubb. Which Nintendo console has your favorite overall game music? I feel like Nintendo's strong suit is its music and still is leaps ahead of other consoles' first-party games. Also, could be a topic for future podcasts about having a favorite song from each console. That's interesting. It's probably actually down to NES and SNES to me. I love something about having that specific sound that you had to build from, especially with NES. Like there's something uniform about all NES soundtracks, and people are kind of playing the same instrument to make different songs, but people can get really creative with it. There's just like a lot of really good NES soundtracks. SNES too, like some of my favorite soundtracks ever from SNES, like Final Fantasy VI, Mega Man X, or Chrono Trigger. But something really iconic about the way the NES sounds.
I think the NES is probably the right answer for me too, but I will also say GameCube because it was right there in that generation where they were getting perfectly translated versions of music, but then there was a lot of fun stuff happening in music creation at the time, so that you would get a lot of cool games that just sound like we're using awesome sample libraries that don't really get used anymore, and it was still a little bit Dreamcasty. It was a good time.
Yeah. There's just a couple instances where, like, I wish games had orchestrated soundtracks, and they did. Wind Waker stands out.
Yeah, and Wind Waker's the big guilty one there, yeah.
Next one here is from the Ballad of Greasy Thwomp, who says, "Dear Jacked Up Beast, I have this problem. You see, I love the Mikey Vania shirt design. However, I don't feel like wearing black t-shirts. Any plans for a navy blue or charcoal shirt with that design?" Yeah, we need to do that and also get a new shirt design up. So basically, I do. Jeff's been telling me to do it. And I do
we will refresh the shirt selection and the merch selection here pretty soon. So keep an eye out for that.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, we will do that. Chaos Buckaroo says, "Howdy, fellas. This week I have been thinking about the last Nintendo published games on respective systems, like Kirby's Extra Epic Yarn 3DS and Breath of the Wild Wii U. What series would you all guess the final Nintendo published game on the Switch comes from?" Oh, that'll be interesting. Maybe like Metroid Prime 4 will be the last Switch game because it's like a cross-gen thing or something weird like that, huh?
Yeah, that sounds really likely to me. Yes. I think it'll probably be Metroid. Yeah.
Velocity Prime says, "Good evening to the dogs. As I've gotten deeper into emulation, I've relied on many of the perks it provides, such as save states, rewind, and fast forward." Ooh, it sounds like he uses just, Jeff.
Yeah, get that juicy going.
It's just, do you think these elements could be implemented in new releases in a manner that wouldn't wreck the pacing of the game? I remember PC games just had like quick save and quick load, and it was kind of great for a lot of those first person shooters, especially because a lot of them were kind of bullshit, right? So you needed quick save and quick load. That's it. Yeah, I wonder why we don't just do that for modern games sometimes, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's something I find myself thinking where I'm like, man, if I was playing this 10 years from now, I would just be using an emulator and I'd be able to fast forward through this part and that would rule.
Even when they remastered the Final Fantasy games, they always add fast forward. I'm like, why don't we just do that from the start?
Yeah, I kind of feel like, I don't know if developers will ever feel great about that, but some big developer should just do it and make it the norm. Or maybe implement it on a system level. That would rule. I would love that. I think there's a chance we get there, but for the most part, probably not anytime soon.
Donovan Frankenbopper says, "Sunday night, a crime was committed. Mike booted up Kelly Slater's Pro Surfer and then, like a Barney, was kind of trashing the game and gave up on it quickly rather than understanding how to properly surf. This Grubb couldn't even grasp simple concepts like carving and building momentum. And then the kook had the balls to say every level is probably the same. It's just a wave." I mean, stand by that. Just jump cut to him getting tombstone when waves started to act differently. Mike, as a longtime surfer, you are out of line for your act, man. I had no idea that Bob was a surfer. I demand you apologize to both the game and the literal goat, Kelly Slater. On a serious note, I think once you tried the icon mode, where the game rapid fires tricks at you to chain together, you'll get a better feel for the game and may compel you to go back to career mode. I mean, I thought I was being relatively generous to the game, to be fair. I said it was fine. I kind of liked a bit of it. It's not that good. It's definitely not as good as Pro Skater, that's for sure. I'm glad it exists. I'm glad that it exists. Have you ever played Kelly Slater's Pro Surfer, Jeff?
No, I always wanted to though, but I got to tell you, when I was thinking about like where to spend my money, I definitely thought, I mean, every level's the same. It's just waves. I definitely thought that.
It's too true. I mean, they do things like, yeah, this wave has like a break in the middle, and there's a pier that you have to jump over. So, granted, I didn't play close to all the levels, but I can't imagine what else you do. And they are waves. I mean, look, it's nice. It has a vibe. There's this weird thing where there are a lot of full motion video interviews with Kelly Slater that they play before almost everything you do.
Sure.
And they the audio quality is very bad on them. He's just kind of talking about surfing and stuff. And I kind of like it, but it's kind of stupid also. But I mostly like it. Yeah, I know this copy's not in great shape, but I also got it for $10. So hey, what are you gonna do? Next one here is from Dan Likes Everything. Given how long development cycles have become for the main Nintendo franchises, do you think we're going to see them commit to full remakes of major Mario and Zelda games to fill in release gaps? Obviously, Nintendo loves to re-release games. When you see the hype over remakes on other consoles, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Final Fantasy, etc., doesn't it make sense for Nintendo to develop an Ocarina of Time remake or a Mario 64 remake? Didn't the Link's Awakening remake sell really well, or do you think it'll be determined by the success of the Metroid Prime remake? I mean, they've remade Ocarina of Time and Super Mario 64 before. The difference is that they remade them for portable systems where the fidelity didn't have to be super high. Nowadays, if you say you're going to remake Ocarina of Time on your newest system, there are certain expectations with that. And especially, again, because of things like Final Fantasy VII Remake. We saw what happened when Ubisoft tried to get away with not putting a whole lot of money into a Prince of Persia Sands of Time remake. Everyone freaked out.
Yeah,
No, you can't do that.
Get Grove Street or whatever that name of that developer is that did the GTA remakes or remasters. Just run everything through an AI upscaler, call it a day, and go. Not that was that developer's fault. It was definitely a Rockstar thing. But yeah, it's if you start this today, it's not just like remaking these games even with HD assets. You got to probably plan to do them with 4K assets, and it's a lot of work. And that's Nintendo. They're just not going to do it. They will look at it and be like, how can we do this in a way that is cheaper and still makes us just as much money? And for Nintendo, there's a lot of options there.
Yeah, they can do nice remasters of game, but remasters like they do with Skyward Sword or things like Pikmin 3 Deluxe. And you can remake older games where you remake them in this kind of cute way where they're smaller projects like they did with Link's Awakening or like you do with the Pokemon remakes. But I don't think we're going to get something that's on the level of a Resident Evil 2 remake from Nintendo. I wish it'd be awesome, but I just don't see that.
I think they'll get around to that stuff eventually, but they are not rushing out to do that like Capcom is.
Evo Janice says, since we as a culture are going through a multiple universes genre right now in media, what if Nintendo's Donkey Kong game involves DK looking for his father, Donkey Kong Jr., who is lost in time or many worlds due to an experiment gone wrong? You see, DK Jr. is so good at math that he grew up to be a physicist working in theoretical physics and quantum mechanics. That's pretty cute. I mean, it's not the worst idea, but also I don't know if it's a great idea. I mean, multiverse fatigue has to be hitting eventually here, right, Jeff?
Oh yeah, I'm there.
I'm there. We're there.
Yeah, we're there.
Sure, but
we're definitely there. I think I would like more connective tissue between the Nintendo universes, though. That would be fun. I think if they had post-credit scenes that involve Smash, I think that would just do that. That'd be cool.
Let's see. Blackheart Vinyl says this is a cool thing Embracer's doing, but what is the business reason for this? I think it's just talking about the archive that they have, right? They have that
Embracer Games Archive. Yeah, I think it's I think they just like it. I think they should like doing stuff like that. I think it's that simple.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad. It's nice to know at least somebody out there is like putting a pretty nice full collection of things like all the Xbox games.
And Outrun 2006 Coast to Coast.
Yeah, such a good game. I want to play that so bad right now. Yeah, I don't know how they turn it into business opportunities per se. Maybe they have some ideas, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think it might be. I think it's just like a passion thing, or maybe they'll find some tax loophole that helps them justify it or something. But I think it's just the kind of thing where they want to do it, so they're doing it.
Beefhammer says, evening, Mike pre-ordered Beyond Good and Evil 2 back when he had hair, Minotti, and Jeff updated his will to include Skull and Bones pre-order. Grubb. Kind of resolve a gaming mystery. Silicon Knights planned for Too Human to start a trilogy. Do you think they were going to call the sequel Too Human 2? I bet that's interesting. So I don't think they would do that. I think it would either be Too Human, bad subtitle, or like a different name, and it would be like part of the Two Humans saga.
What do you think the chances are it would be Two Humans? TOOHUMANAS.
Yeah, I don't think so, sadly. Yeah, I don't think so.
That's too good.
It's too good. MDY asks, after reading the quote from Kensuke Tanabe below, do you think he lost interest in coming to work because he wrote the scripts for 2 of the best games ever? Also, professional goals. Let's see this. This is from some old interview where he said, to be honest, I wasn't going to work very often. It had kind of worn me out, and I was drinking too much. For someone who wasn't going to work all the time, when I did have to deal with people outside the company, I seemed to shape up. So they kept sending me out to do these jobs overseas, the work on external and overseas studios like Retro Studios and Next Level Games. So he was a scriptwriter for Link to the Past and Link's Awakening, and then he became the producer for Metroid Prime. Kind of the context here. I don't think he lost interest because he wrote the scripts for those 2 games. There's a lot of reason why people begin losing that drive to go into work and all that stuff.
Yeah, for sure. And to not be like switch jobs pretty like majorly, like producer Metroid Prime. He's like one of the big major producers at Nintendo that works with studios that aren't inside Nintendo, and he like oversees a lot of those things. And I think he probably just needed that change of scenery.
Pennywise says, good frackin' day, my beef 9-inch nail cheddar boys. I know I said it before, but I want to say it again. Thank you both so much for the show. My wife got very ill last year. Today's the 1-year anniversary. Listening to you guys constantly while taking care of her. You seriously helped me make our life somewhat livable. I know for you this is probably just a fun side gig, but it really can mean the world for some people. So thank you. Thank you, Pennywise. I hope your wife is doing better.
Definitely.
Now that she is all relatively better, well, there you go. She just kept writing. Good. We've been living like sick Disney perverts. Well, there you go. That's probably what made her better. We just went to Disneyland right before Thanksgiving, and now we're going to Disney World in a couple of weeks for 10 nights. There you go.
Good living.
Yeah, Mike, it's time for you to dish out some Disney knowledge. Before a Disneyland trip, you mentioned you might know some good restroom spots at the parks at Disney World that are a bit more private. My stomach is very Crohn's-esque. Crohn's. I have Crohn's. I said it wrong. Crohn's-esque. Any tips there? I'll probably be asking Disney questions for the next few weeks. Sorry, Jeff. That's funny. So my favorite restroom in Disney World, there's a restroom by the kind of noodle fast food restaurant in Japan, and it's sort of in this little garden area that's not very well populated, especially at night. I like to go to this area after the fireworks are done and everybody's just rushing to leave the park. I just kind of go wander over there. It's like dead empty. And again, those bathrooms over there at that time of the day are very private at that point. So it's nice. If you're like me, you're probably just going to need to just go to the nearest bathroom. And the nice thing about Disney World is there's always a pretty near bathroom. But I imagine also that if you ever had an emergency and there's a long line, if you maybe talk to a cast member, they might be able to help you with like an employee bathroom or something quick to like that for that kind of a thing. But yes, my favorite bathroom. You got to go check out the one in Japan. So there you go. There's the bathroom for you.
Just shit your pants.
There's Jeff's suggestion, which is probably why you didn't come to him for that one. Lossian says, why haven't studios or publishers learned that charging full price for games as a service game will almost always backfire?
I'm trying to think what are good examples of games that were like full price that then succeeded as games as a service? GTA Online
did it. Destiny did it.
Rainbow Six Siege eventually.
Yeah, I think everybody wants to beat Destiny. I mean, that's what Avengers wanted to beat Destiny.
Yes, definitely.
Right?
Yeah.
That's just what they wanted. I wonder if this is a reaction to that Suicide Squad screenshot, which, to be fair, is exactly what I was expecting. Overwatch is a good example. Overwatch 1 anyways, yeah. But yes, that Suicide Squad thing, which that's what I thought it was going to look like. And, in context, it's always a little bit better. But, man, when you do just see a screenshot of that bullshit of just, like, the numbers everywhere, it's like, here's your level 19 Captain Boomerang, and there's another number next to that. Who knows what that's his power level, and that's different from his normal level. And it's just like, now do the ghost, get ready up for the mission where you kill the Flash. And it is just like, I don't want
that
to.
game exhausts me, Mike. I can't.
No.
I need to hear that it's one of the best games of the year before I try it.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at with it.
I think you're right. Yeah,
and I think it's not grading, because right now it seems pretty grading in terms of just the attitude of the characters and stuff. We'll see.
Yeah, it's one of those things, like, if it comes out and people are like, it's an 83 Metacritic, I'm like, that's not good enough for me on how I'm feeling about this. It's just not. I find the concept not very enjoyable. Like, what's great about the other games that Rocksteady made, that interconnected world. You know what doesn't have that? mission-based gameplay, right?
Mhm.
It's just not what they're good at, it seems like. So I never understood the basic idea for this, and they were kind of clear that this was going to be the one that was going to be kind of games as servicey from the beginning. I feel like not Gotham Knights, and then Gotham Knights didn't work out anyway. So Nintendo is saying it's Kevin Conroy's last work and could sell quite well due to that. I don't think that moves the needle in terms of sales at all.
Yeah, not much.
I know everybody loves Kevin Conroy, and we're all going to miss it. I don't think there's people who are going to drop $70 for a game or $60 selling just because of that. I'm
Right,
afraid.
you just go get HBO Max and watch
Right.
Batman the animated.
I mean, I know
series
Derek
again.
says that's why he's buying it, so maybe I'm just cynical and whatever. But I don't think it's gonna have a major impact on it. Let's see. Bench JC says, "Hey, messy man, with Fire Emblem Engaged coming in at an 82 on Metacritic, I say that's a bit disappointing for the franchise. What are your thoughts?" Yeah, I mean, you don't want to come in 7 points lower than your last entry, right?
Yeah, I think most games recently that have had that setup where it's like, hey, your last game was really highly rated. Most of them have met their last Metacritic score, and this one not doing that to me says there's something wrong in Denmark or whatever.
I mean, to be clear, if Tears of the Kingdom comes in at 7 points lower than Breath of the Wild, that'll be considered a crisis amongst a lot of Nintendo fans.
Yes, if that's an 89, yes, people are gonna lose their goddamn mind.
The Uncharted Wolf says, "Hey, Mike, wasted fantasy money on a game that's not coming out, Minotti. We'll see if Final Fantasy VII Rebirth... Wait, Rebirth or was Crisis Core called Rebirth? There's Rebirth and there's I forget.
Remake.
The Final Fantasy VII Part 2. No, Remake was the last one.
I don't give a shit.
All right. And Jeff, wait, there's a Fantasy Critic League Grubb. I have started the new college semester and now have only one day of the week without school or work. Oof. I thank God for Sunday. Oh, I'd hate that. Needless to say, the stress is a lot, but thankfully I discovered Vampire Survivors. This game has been keeping me sane between classes and sometimes during class. Don't tell my professors. Have you ever had a game that helped you during a difficult or stressful part of your life? I don't think I have a great answer for this one, Jeff. I'll be honest. I don't know if there's a game I necessarily associate with like pulling me through something like that. Sometime, like I remember when I was in college, that's when I played through most of the Final Fantasy series, and it was a lot of fun. I was an English major. College just wasn't that hard for me. I'll be honest.
When my first daughter was born, I got a Switch and Breath of the Wild and played that a lot, and that was very, very awesome, and it felt like it was like a good fit for what was happening in my life, and I played that for like 150 hours, and then when my second daughter was born, we were in the middle of a game of Eco that we were playing as a community, and Mike was farming and stuff like that, and I was it was in the middle of the thing, and it's like a 30 real world days is how you play that game. It's like time is passing in the game right now. Even when you're not playing, someone could be in there. Mike could literally be in there farming, and you need to go help him do something with the food. But then, like when I got back home from the hospital, or even when I was in the hospital and there was nothing to do, I could get on the computer for a second and like check in on that. And that I remember being like, "Oh, this is like nice. Like there's an experience I can go have to like recenter myself and remind myself that like things are gonna be good. Things are gonna be fine. You got this network of people out there that care about you and things like that. So." Those are the moments that come to mind when I read a question like that.
My favorite thing about that game was my brother joined it, and he like took up a prime spot of real estate and built his log cabin. And then, as is very much like him, just stopped playing immediately. But like this land was still him, and his stupid log cabin was just
no
in
one
the
else could build
middle.
on it. Yeah.
No one else could build. So everyone starts building up, and they have like actual like modern houses and all this stuff, and there's still this log cabin. So I put up a sign calling it a historical site, and I tried to like get a petition to keep it from being demolished. That I think I lost and all this stuff, right? So
yeah, I mean that's what I mean. I know Turbo Sean hates this, but it's that kind of emergent storytelling that really sets video games apart. Look at me in the eyes when I fucking say it. All right, you can go ahead.
Next up is from Hosp here, who says, "Hey, dogs, you previously mentioned. Oh, you know what? I need to find out what we both guessed for the Metacritic for Fire Emblem Engage. Also, I can't remember now.
Oh yeah. I guess we can. We'll definitely get the update at the end of the quarter. But as we go along,
I want an update
Wolf,
right now.
If you ever want to like update us about it, let me know.
Yeah, it's Wolf in chat. I want to know.
Yeah.
Haas says, "Hey, dogs, you previously mentioned the lineage of defining open world games, going Elden Ring, Breath of the Wild, and Skyrim. I assume Mario 64 starts the list. So what would fill in the gaps up to Skyrim? Well." driver's kind of important because that leads into Grand Theft Auto 3, which is very important, right?
Yes, very, very important. Maybe the most important.
Yeah, Grand Theft Auto 3 to me was when we actually started using the term open world as a genre.
Yes.
Like Mario 64 even, like I could almost say, that's just levels.
Yep.
That's kind of that, sure, and it's building up to it. Well, Grand Theft Auto 3 was the most important one first. Then kind of between Grand Theft Auto 3 and Skyrim, in terms of like Assassin's Creed was kind of, because, you know, that was like what I think of with the big map games. But even that was segmented in a way. I don't know. To me, it can almost go from Grand Theft Auto 3 to Skyrim. I'm not sure if there's something super in the middle there that is super important.
Yeah, I'm kind of there with you. I mean, there was there was Oblivion. I mean, that's like that.
Yeah,
but,
I guess Oblivion is basically just Skyrim.
I mean it's like it's Grand Theft Auto 3 and then a bunch of different sort of RPGs in the vein of Bethesda RPGs.
Right. I mean, to be clear, Skyrim not even nearly as important as Grand Theft Auto 3 in terms of influence.
Absolutely not. Yep.
Yeah, none of those games are.
Yep.
Lenny Cool Dick Denver says, "Hey Mike, Sonic Forces is better than Mario Galaxy Minotti." I would never say that. And Jeff, why haven't I killed Mike yet? Grubb.
Fuck.
Not sure if you guys talked about this yet, but do you think Starfield is coming out in the first half of 2023 still? If you did talk about that, then what's your favorite adult beverage? Mike strikes me as a hand sanitizer drinking type of guy. Wow. I don't know, Jeff. I'm beginning to feel more and more like Starfield maybe isn't coming out the first half of this year.
Yeah, I definitely got that same tip that Mr. Matty Plays got about how it's coming later. It might not have been from the same person, so it's like, oh, maybe multiple people out there saying this game's going to be delayed, but I can't confirm it. I do think it probably will be still summer, but not technically the first half of this year. Also,
summer is so busy.
You got it. Uncharted Wolf today. I said 80. You said 83 for Fire Emblem Engaging.
Wow. I was practically right there. Ooh, baby, let's go.
I need to go review it and drag it down 1 point. Ethics be damned.
Yeah, oh God.
Jeff Grubb gave it a 0.
Wow, dropped by 3 points exactly. That's great. What's I like beer and whiskey, Scotch especially lately. But yeah, I like pretty I don't drink a lot of IPAs anymore. They aren't great for my Crohn's, and I don't like very fruity beers or sours. But you know, like a good like lager or something like an unfiltered wheat ale is pretty nice.
Yeah, I like beer.
Jeff like beer. Jeff likes to bring his children to breweries. Yeah. Wow.
What'd you think of that question, Mike? Or that email where I got yelled at even before I said the thing I did wrong?
People go to breweries all the time. There's a lot of them that are very family friendly. They're basically just restaurants.
They're just restaurants. Yep, absolutely.
They have kids menus.
Yeah, literally did. Yep, we literally checked before we went.
Yeah, and look, people aren't really going to breweries to get wasted, man. That stuff is heavy, you know.
Yes,
they're going to dive bars at like 2 a.m. on a Saturday to get wasted. That's not.
Yeah,
exactly. That person's never been to Wisconsin. Yeah, it's a very different vibe.
Yep.
One up versus CPU says, "Hello, Mike, 2-week beard grower Minotti. I am very proud of that." And Jeff, wish I had Mike's hair growing powers. Grubb. Well, he doesn't. I don't have that hair growing powers.
Yeah, does don't curse me with that.
Does the Metroid Prime remaster have new 3D models and textures? Because when I hear the word remaster, I think of all the higher frame rate and resolution PS360 to PlayStation 4 and Xbox One ports we got. I'm kind of with them. It's like this fine line when you start replacing some of the textures and models, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'll say that I don't know for sure exactly what it is. I'll just say how it's been relayed to me. And the way that I phrased it always was big boy remaster. And it's the way that it's been explained to me is that they're doing a lot of work, but it's not a remake. They're doing a lot of work to it, but no one should qualify it as a remake. I'm like, what does that mean? I don't know exactly, but
maybe that's like what we just got with Crisis Core, which did replace some textures and some models. I think that's
probably right. I think that's probably close to the correct what we should expect.
But clearly not on the level of like Final Fantasy VII Remake or, you know, even absolutely like a 1-to-1 really high-end remake like Shadow of the Colossus or Dark Souls.
Yep.
Jeremy Biff says, "Hey, Mike, Kelly Slater, surfing champ Minotti, and Jeff, Battleship is my favorite movie, Grubb. What is one maybe controversial thing you want in Tears of the Kingdom? I want a guided mode similar to Mario Odyssey because I get choice player paralysis deciding what to do in Breath of the Wild. I want a built-in timeline. I want there to be an option that's like, here's how all these games are connected to each other. And I want it to actually be completely different than the other official one, just to really make people mad.
I want no weapons. The weapon degradation is so bad that they've all just dissolved, and now you just got nothing, basically.
That's what you all get.
Yeah, you could like throw pine cones at the Galumpas or whatever they are.
Octo says, yo, Jeff, even cats feel sorry for my haircut, Grubb. And Mike, I'll fucking teach you to love Disney whether you want to or not, Minotti. Do you think stuff like Xbox Game Pass Day 1 limits some of the development deals Microsoft can make? Well, Sony, with Marvel Spider-Man, or inversely, like Sony with Marvel Spider-Man, or inversely, could Sony be limited in maybe putting their games they want on PlayStation Plus because of some of their partner licensing agreements? Love you all. P.S. Mount Rushmore games that went through development hell, maybe after If Skull and Bones comes out. That'd be kind of fun. Did you follow that, Jeff? Because it's kind of a complicated question. Do you want me to say that again?
No, I'm kind of reading along with it because I was getting left out there at the end. I think that the existence of Game Pass probably does not very much affect the kinds of development deals that Microsoft can make. I don't think that's the case. I think that Microsoft is much more limited in the deals they can make based on who wants to work with them in the first place and who wants to and things like how much they have to pay and what do they get in return. And so, well, hey, you can have this as an exclusive. Microsoft's only so interested in doing those because they've been burned on that a lot in the past when they tried to do that with like Tomb Raider. So I think like mostly they are operating based on lessons learned and not on any sort of limitation of the infrastructure they built around them. I don't think that's too much of a problem.
Ed says, with Fire Emblem out this week, we are officially at the beginning of the direct speculation hype train bonanza. What would you guys like to see at the next direct? Personally, I'm hoping for another Ace Attorney collection with the first tease at Ace Attorney 7 or Great Ace Attorney 3 if they prefer. The Great Ace Attorney collection seems to have cleared Capcom's expectations going by the Capcom leak, so I'm hoping Ace Attorney fans get some news soon, and what better place to announce it than at a Nintendo Direct that doesn't actually exist yet. That's a possibility. I think it is about time for Ace Attorney 7 or whatever they want that to be, or maybe even a Miles Edgeworth collection, and they could include Miles Edgeworth 2 that we never got over here, which would be pretty cool. You know what we want. We just want to see the Metroid Prime remaster and the Wind Waker Twilight Princess things actually happen. That's it. That's what I want to see. In terms of that, there's it sure seems like it's time to bring back F-Zero. It seems like it's been time for that for a while now. Everyone's, and I never believe, it's never going to happen. All these things are going to happen eventually. And maybe it's not now. Maybe it's not for another 5 years. Could be now though. So let's see it.
Yeah, I want Mario mentioned in some game capacity, not just the movie.
Yeah, that's what would freak me out. Get me the most excited is if they just announced the next 3D Mario game for sure.
Yeah. Green Thumbs in chat just said Sticker Star remaster, and you can go to hell.
Yeah, we'll be talking about Sticker Star later when we talk about most disappointing Nintendo sequels.
Oh man, yes.
Clink says, hello there, Jeff, Miyamoto, Grubb, and Mike Naka Minotti. Any chance we get a Wario plus Rabbids spinoff where we can go commit crimes in the Mushroom Kingdom? I think the plus Rabbids series is done.
Yeah, they really should have done something different with that second game. As good as people say it is, I will still play it, and I'm sure I'll enjoy it. But I mean, if they would have just mixed it up in any other, like you imagine, like you are in a world of Rabbids and you could play as Wario, and it's like an open world crime game. Like, of course, that would be better in terms of like getting people excited.
Right. And you can make them real childish crimes, right?
Exactly. Yes. Right. Yes. Like you're just messing up people's laundry on a laundry line or whatever.
Putting gum under a bench.
Exactly.
Like
yeah. Like that would almost be better. That would rule. But they just, I mean, I get why you do the sequel. I get it. The first game did really well, but I feel like a lot of us could have predicted this diminishing return.
If you look just a little bit further past like the pure sales numbers and try to figure out why that game was a success and what could maybe like what the appetite was for sequel, I bet making a Rabbid OC who's like really cool and edgy and who's literally named Edge was probably not. Was her name? I think her name's literally Edge, wasn't it?
I think so. Yeah.
Jesus. Oh no. G-Minster says, hello, Jeff. I watched Andor, My Enemies Crumble Before Me, Grubb, and Mike. Great. I watched Mild Manner, Miss Naughty. What would look scarier, Wah Grubb or Wah Mike? Any powers they would Are we not already the WA versions of some other
Yeah,
more pure beings?
I was gonna
out there?
say our WAs are like mine's gonna be timely and responsible and have a good memory and like yeah that's mine.
Mine won't play Kingdom Hearts and Sonic games.
Man, introduce me to that. Wow, Mike. Yeah.
Dominic Malta says, Jeff, earlier today in the Bonkcast, you were talking about how it's okay for kids to go to a brewery. Hey, look at this. We just talked about this. I agree with you on that. But what's your take on an 8-year-old having their birthday party at Hooters? I mean, I had an amazing time. As a kid, I just loved the food there. Also, I got to stand on a chair and have my picture taken with all the waitresses there, which wasn't even my idea. It was there. Here's the picture. No one believes me. Look at this 8-year-old just having a great time. I'll tell you what, I wouldn't care about taking a 8-year-old to Hooters. I would only not do it because I'd be afraid of people judging me. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Like what? Like who cares? It's an 8-year-old.
Yeah.
But I mean, God, anybody can go. It's not like they, touch you. They're waitresses. Like what? Like they're gonna bring you your food.
Yeah.
It's like you're taking your kid to a strip club. He looks pretty happy though. Looks like I miss Hooters. I don't know if we have any near us anymore.
Honestly, I think a child's birthday is the perfect time to go to Hooters because it's like the only time you'll actually get all the attention you want from the waitresses. Like
Yes,
we want to
exactly.
take our picture with you. You're going to go there as an adult and wish that happens. Of course, it's not going to happen. So, yeah, go as a child and then as an adult, go somewhere else.
And that is, man, 2000s, like Hooters waitresses is a look, huh?
Yeah, very specific look. Yeah.
It's a very specific look. Now Yuzu is my best friend, says, hi, Mike, short for Mycicle Minotti, and Jeff, short for Jefferson Grubb. An episode of Seinfeld, after convincing them to spend all their money on expensive clothing, Kramer has Japanese businessmen stay at his apartment, drinking in his hot tub and sleeping in drawers. If Miyamoto, Hideo Kojima, and Hideki Kamiya were to stay at your house, what activities would you do to entertain them? Choose one for each that you think they would enjoy. God, where would they sleep? And what expensive items would you convince them to spend their money on? I am not going through each of them for this. But I'll make all of them play Mary Kate and Ashley Sweet 16 License to Drive with me. I dropped one of my games here. I will they will all sleep on the floor like animals, and I'll convince them all to buy GameCube games.
Yeah. Mine also involves the GameCube. I would
Of course.
I would get the Game Boy Advance out. We'd do some connectivity, probably some Pac-Man versus a few other things. And then I would spend the rest of the time convincing them to bring back connectivity. I wouldn't have any plan beyond that. I wouldn't know how it would work, but I would just talk to them a lot about connectivity.
There you go. That sounds pretty good. Then from Turbo Sean here says, off topic, but I saw someone in the chat bring it up when you were talking console sales earlier. I did, in fact, finally see a PlayStation 5 in the wallet at Walmart. There you go. Yeah, look at that. Well, that's just a PlayStation 4.
Yeah,
Is he trolling us?
yeah, I think he's just
Oh, I
trolling
saw a
us.
PlayStation. Yeah, you're a very funny guy, Sean.
Was at my Target and I checked and still no. But they didn't have Xboxes either. They didn't. I don't think they had any Switch Lights either, which is weird.
Yeah. And then Johnny Nolly says, what up, guys? Do you all think Nintendo will ever make a games as a service game? And if they did, which IP would you want them to use? I mean, like super, like more than what they do with like a Splatoon or like a Mario Kart 8 where there's like DLC. I mean, Smash Bros. Was almost close. They had 2 full years of just releasing characters for it. But even then, there was never an in-game like store that you would spend real money on, really. I feel like they must have released a game that had something like that, though. I don't know. They're not going to make something that looks like Suicide Squad.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm like trying to think of a good one. I'll just say Advance Wars. Why not?
All right, Jeff, that's it for the questions from them. We have that whole topic to get into soon. I think I can use a little break. How about you?
Yeah, I'm hitting the button. See you all in a second.
All right, bye.
Cool. I hit it. All right. Yeah. Waffle with Jam asks, is this live? And the answer, as always, is no. The chat is live, but we're not.
No.
All right.
I
don't know. I'm like, my cough is like being annoying. I feel fine other than the cough at this point. It's just.
This is live. The in between the breaks are live.
The
Everything
chat
else
is
is
pre-recorded.
recorded.
That's the important thing.
Yeah.
Keep in
Yes,
mind.
chat pre-recorded. Okay, that's what it is. Yes. My roommate walked into a GameStop and bought a PS5. Surprisingly, more people are saying that's happening. I haven't seen it yet, but Mike's seen it. Turbo Sean's seen the Modern Warfare 2 PS4.
It's a PS4 Slim. What the?
Oh, really? I didn't even look. Oh,
Yeah.
look at that. Oh, man. Not even a Pro. Weird.
No. Yeah, I thought they discontinued that shit. Like, what? A brand new game slapped in there with a PS4 Slim. I was flabbergasted.
Yeah, what the hell?
Yeah, right?
Yeah, what the fuck? That's like, I was like, oh, that's Modern Warfare 1. No, that's Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah, the game that just came out with a console that supposedly doesn't exist.
What the fuck?
What shady ass fucking business are they running up there? What's
Right?
going on?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's why it's weird.
Like we didn't look closely enough at this PS4. It's a PS4 Slim bundled with Modern Warfare 2. And I know they made like 1 million more of those, but that was like 2 years ago. Where did they even find a PS4 Slim to bundle with this thing? It's weird.
They had it in a
It is
somewhere.
pretty weird.
All right.
Bust them out of the vault.
Yeah,
Way to
they
get
had
rid
like
of them, I guess.
Tweeting this, Sean. All right, Mike, you can bring us back whenever you're ready.
Would have you do super chats first before we do this? So get rid of
Okay.
that.
Yeah, I'm ready.
And we are back. Jeff, before we get on our topic about the most disappointing Nintendo sequels, brought to you by Sports Story, why don't you read some super chats first, and then we can do super chats again at the end of the show. How's that sound?
Yeah, it sounds great. We got some people re-upping their memberships here on the YouTube channel. Thank you for that. And thank you for everyone who's joined the Patreon in the last month as well. In terms of the super chats, L. Grug says, is Grubb stealing the camera quality from Mike? Absolutely. Looking closer.
Pretty good again. It's settled down after a while.
Absolutely. It's looked fine for a while now. Like debating and asking, Mike, what's a lolly? That's from Big Fresh 37. You don't have to answer that.
Thank you. Why was that? Oh, it's because somebody was, because of course, Jeff, there once again is like people getting mad about Fire Emblem being censored because apparently they changed some dialogue about somebody being in a romantic relationship with an underage girl. So and I just said something about that. And someone's like, what even is a lolly? And yeah, I did not answer them there, and I will not answer them here.
Fair enough. Ovaltine 11. Nintendo does not add Super Mario RPG to NSO. Is this the year that headline changes? I don't think so. I think it would have changed by now if it was ever going to happen.
I mean, how many SNES games did they add all of last year to NSO? It wasn't that many.
Not that many. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like at this point, it's like, well, why haven't they yet? Right? Whatever.
Yeah.
And I mean, the reason is always you had to get Square Enix mildly involved with that stuff. And like they did it when they made the SNES Classic. They got Mario RPG on there, right?
Yeah, but I think the revenue split probably just doesn't make sense in this, where it made sense with the Super Nintendo Classic. And
we did have to wait a while for Earthbound, so maybe it's happening. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I've just given up hope on that. I've also like since writing that story originally, I've like played the game like 1.5 times on various little handhelds I have, so I'm good.
Yeah, there's plenty of other ways for us to play that game.
Yep, and I have.
But it's just annoying. Just it's one of your big Super Nintendo games. If you have a service where you can play Super Nintendo games, that should be on there.
Samuel Rogerson. Hey, Mike, Durag, Vince, Minotti,
Durag.
Durag. Oh yeah, Durag. That's
He's referencing that time when Vince McMahon, after he had his haircut at WrestleMania 23, which I was at, wore a do-rag and then became ECW World Heavyweight Champion.
Yeah, I just want to point out that's maybe the whitest moment of my entire life, mispronouncing the word durag.
Yes, I'm glad I was here for it.
Hey, Mike, Durag, Vince, Minotti, and Jeff, Vince's illegitimate son, Grubb. I love Tactics Ogre Reborn and saw that it sold well. With Final Fantasy Tactics Remake rumored, will it lead to more entries? I'm going to say yes.
Yeah, I mean, it sure is time to make a new one of these. Like, why not? Especially, obviously, Tactics. That would be great. I mean, Tactics over also. There's also maybe... I mean, I guess they could just also remake Tactics Advance or one of the other Tactics Ogres, but I think we'll probably eventually see a new entry in one of these. I mean, why not? They made Triangle Strategy. It's like, here's the thing inspired by these. Part of me is like, why don't you just have those people make a new Final Fantasy Tactics or Tactics or what have you? But hey, new franchises, yay.
From Alex, I've never played a Fire Emblem game, but I have recently got into and started enjoying strategy games. Is Three Houses a nice place to start? Absolutely. I think
No. Go ahead, Jeff. Sorry.
No, don't worry. I was just gonna say, if you like characters that you can like build a relationship with, then you'll definitely be into it.
Yeah. Just go for that. Play Three Houses.
And then L. Grug is back. He says, also rip to Jay Briscoe.
I didn't realize. I think there was another chat earlier here. I didn't realize that he had passed away today, apparently. So yeah. That's sad. But yep. Rest in peace, Jay Briscoe.
While we're on like slightly downer subjects, just a shout out to Hogue over at Hogue Law. I saw recently that he had a stroke. If you have a chance, there's a GoFundMe going around to support him. Try to give a little bit to support him and his wife. He's going to be on a long road to recover, and I want to make sure that he's taken care of because Hogue's always been nice to me, and I want to be nice to Hogue. So just shout out to him. Mike, that does it for the super chats. Back to you.
Didn't we have ones from B. Traven and also from Isaac Clark, I think?
Let me double check here. They're not showing up on Stream Elements, but let me check here.
Okay, I could read them if you want me to.
You know what? I got them now. I see them. I switched over to YouTube. Surprisingly, YouTube's working better than Stream Elements. From B. Traven, The Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion is a better game than Skyrim. Have a nice evening. I sometimes feel that way. I go back and forth.
It definitely has better writing and better quests, but I mean, it also...
Better Patrick Stewart.
It has a better Patrick Stewart. It's also kind of... It was even ugly a little bit then, right?
Yes, absolutely.
There are definitely some nice conveniences in Skyrim that are good, but there are definitely ways Oblivion is better, and those arguments can be made for sure.
Isaac Clark says, "Hi, gents. Today was a rough one, but y'all never fail to create a fun and comfortable community that always helps me unplug from real life for a bit. Heart and thank you." Hey, thank you, Isaac Clark. That means a lot to us. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Isaac. I hope tomorrow's a better day for you.
Yes. Let me double check, make sure I got all the rest of these. It looks like yes. Looks like that's all.
Scared.
Okay. Yeah, I am absolutely.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Okay, I don't know why the stream elements didn't work, but
just
back
admit
to
you hate our fans, especially the one who is giving us hearts and telling us that we're the best people on the planet.
Yeah, him specifically. Hate you.
Of course, you read the one about Mario RPG. Jeff, all the talk about Sports Story and how kind of disappointing that's been, and how it's kind of a surprise it's a disappointment, right? Got me thinking about Nintendo console release sequels that have been disappointments. I guess I'll start because I already kind of teased it, but Sticker Star sure does come to mind for me.
Yep.
The first Mario RPG is good. Thousand Year Door is great. I love that game. Even though Super Paper Mario wasn't really my thing, like I appreciated it. I got what it was going for. And Sticker Star just it sucks. It's bad. It's
bad.
Barely an RPG. Like every decision made. It has a world map for some reason. It's got these stupid sticker puzzles. You don't gain experience points. One of the worst things in JRPGs I hate are like the usable items. Like, oh, you could cast a spell or you could use your fire bomb. I don't want to use a fire bomb. I don't want to think about my inventory that way. I don't want, it's like, then you use it and it always says like 2 damage. I'm like, well, that was a waste of a turn. Then you read a guide. It's like, well, here's the optimal. No, I'm not playing no character who mixes items in the inventory. I don't want to be no alchemist. And Sticker Star is just that. And I hate it.
Yeah, it's, God, I hated Sticker Star. I remember reviewing it and like, I think I gave it whatever is the equivalent of a 6 out of 10 based on our thing, which probably was like a 60 out of 100. And I felt like later that was too high. That was way too high for that game. I hate it that much. It's so just broken in terms of presenting itself as a fun and playable game, one that you want to keep playing, and I did not want to keep playing it. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I know like Color Splash people like that a bit more than people were relatively generous to Origami King, but even Origami King, like no one talks about that anymore. Already.
Yeah, I mean, Origami King has a lot going for it other than a boring battle system, which is just killer for a game like that. It's like just a straight up boring battle system. Everything else in Origami King, pretty good, other than the characters not being quite as memorable for very specific reasons, but not quite as memorable as previous games. It's something they could fix, but don't because Miyamoto's a coward. I love Miyamoto, sorry. My most disappointing Nintendo sequel, and really this applies to everyone after the first one, but I'll start with the first sequel, Yoshi's Story.
I wonder.
Yeah.
See, and I even like Yoshi's Story, okay, probably just because I was a kid when it came out, but every other one, oof.
Yep, they are just, it's rough all the way through. Some of them try to be more exactly like Yoshi's Island than others, but kind of no matter what, they're all pretty disappointing. I think one of them, I might be mixing these up, but I think one of them was a contract developer the same contracted developer that would go on to one day create, work on Balan's Wonderworld.
I think you're correct, actually. Yes,
I think that's right. I think that's right. So
I think that's one of either there's new Yoshi's Island and then Yoshi's Island DS, and I can't even get the two. I don't know which one's which even.
Yep. Yeah, they're just Yoshi's Island is a magical, incredible platformer.
So good.
So much going for it. And all of the rest are completely devoid of that. And some of them are actively really bad games.
You know, yeah, and it's like, I get it. Yoshi's Island was so good. How do you top it? Well, Metroid Prime was so good and maybe couldn't be topped, but they still made good games with Metroid Prime 2 and 3. They weren't as good, but they're still enjoyable. And everything after Yoshi's Island was just not the... And there are some people, I've seen some in chat, that say, oh, Woolly World was good or Crafter World was good. I think that they are nuts. So those are two of the most forgettable... I played those games. I played through them. Remember almost nothing about them, Jeff. They were just so in one ear, out the other.
Yeah, I've put Woolly World, whichever one that was.
I can't remember which one was the Wii U one, which one was the Switch one. I can't remember.
Yeah, are they different games? I was gonna say that whatever was ported to the Switch. Is there a new one that came to the Switch?
No, there's a new one. They made a new one for Switch.
Yes, you're right, and that's the one I put that one in front of Addie, and she's like, she likes it. But she never really asks for it the way she asks for Kirby or Mario. I think even she's a little bit bored by it.
Yeah, so Crafted is the Switch one. Woolly is the Wii U one. Apparently people like Woolly more. Again, I played through both of them, and neither of them stuck out to me in any meaningful way. All right, Jeff. Well, then I have a couple other I'm thinking of. Let's see if chat maybe
let's see what they have to say.
So, and if you want to contribute to this too and you aren't in the podcast producers, you can send a super chat and do it that way. If you want to send any other super chats too, we will still read them before the end of the show. Thank you, everybody who has contributed so far. Romham Sierra, it doesn't have to be the second game of the franchise. I have to say Golden Sun Dark Dawn. The first two are some of the best JRPGs ever. The third one being so average after such a long wait really sucked. To top it off, it ended on a cliffhanger that will probably never get resolved, although I'd prefer just an HD 2D remaster than a sequel if it came back. Yeah, you know, as much as people love Golden Sun, Jeff, there's that weird third one that came on the DS with like ugly 3D character models that nobody seems to like.
Yeah, I definitely never even tried to play that after seeing the reviews at the time.
Benji Glasky says, my ass bought a Wii for Skyward Sword and fucking hated it. Motion controls didn't seem to work right for me, so I quit sometime during the second dungeon. Luckily, the re-release with button controls redeemed it a bit. You know, it's funny, I liked Skyward Sword a good bit when it first came out, and I didn't get super far in the re-release.
Same, on both counts.
Anyone want to guess what mine is? Says Donovan Frank Bopper. We pretty much beat the horse dead about Sports Story at this point. But I just want to point out that bugs and technical limitations is not what's holding this game back.
I'm so sorry, Bob.
There are 2 points in the game where you daisy chain like 10 fetch quests and kills all momentum. They took away some golf mechanics like spin. The story literally doesn't resolve itself at the end. Oh, God. And the final challenge is neither golf nor the sports they try to mimic. It just expanded too far out of their reach, and there was just no chance they could land the ship. Well, Bob, if it helps you out anymore, I tried playing River City Girls 2 on my Xbox again, and it still hasn't been patched. So now at least that game I think could be fixed with a patch. So there's something. So I'm sorry. It's not the same. We are not the same.
I'm built different.
Yeah. Oh, God. Teach QC says, since I whoopsied, I'll just answer to Super Paper Mario. Paper Mario series reached its apex with Thousand Year Door. Each release, starting with Super Paper Mario, has progressively worsened and lost the spirit and fun action mechanics, which originally started with Super Mario RPG. I will say I think the worstness peaked with Sticker Star.
Yeah, Sticker Star is way worse than Origami King.
But nothing has ever gotten close to being like Thousand Year Door.
Everything is good in Origami King except for the battle system. I really, truly mean that.
Okay. I haven't actually played Origami King because I just knew I knew I could come around to it on a point, but I ultimately was never gonna get that into it.
The best part in Origami King is when you get too powerful for enemies in an area, and so when you jump on them to initiate a battle, they're just like, no, don't worry, you killed him. You can just move on. And it's like, oh, sweet, I don't have to play the battle system. The whole game should be like that.
The whole thing should just be like that.
Yeah.
Dr. Suss says, my most disappointing sequel, not really a Nintendo game, but it will be on the Switch, Silk Song, only because it just won't come out. I no longer believe it is real. It's more real than it was this time last year. It's the most real it's almost ever been, except for that time I played it at E3.
Every tick of the clock, it becomes more real.
That's right. That's right. Oh, what's Tron say? Did you guys hear Nate and MVG slandering Mario Strikers Battle League this weekend?
Everyone slanders it.
Man, man, I just don't get
It's an easy target, is what it is at this point. Everyone's like, look at me. I'm cool for saying things about a game. And it's like, I don't.
I thought
That's
that
fine.
game was completely fine.
Yep.
Brian says, burn me at the stake if you must for the heresy I'm about to unleash. But I find, well, Jeff, I find Super Mario Galaxy to be extremely disappointing. I can forgive it for being largely an asset reuse. He must mean Galaxy 2. For largely being an asset reuse, but a lot of it feels like a big downgrade. Yeah, he means Mario Galaxy 2. The storybook opening feels like a cheap replacement for the amazing one in Mario Galaxy 1, where Kamek shrilly laughs before and blows Mario away from the castle. The hub is just a big Mario face instead of a cool castle, and Rosalina is greater than Lubba. Even the gimmick of making Bowser feels gigantic feels less cool than the Bowser fights of Mario Galaxy 1, that were like an evolution of the fights from Mario 64. I will give Super Mario Galaxy 2 credit where credit's due on its music, and its final level is cool. When I think back to the Galaxy games, I find 1 to be way more memorable. Not everything he's saying is actually kind of right. Like, I do think the presentation in Galaxy 1's better.
Sure.
The story is better. The hub's better.
Yeah,
but,
a lot of things don't matter.
Those things, I think they matter. I don't think they matter nearly as much as level design, and the level design in Galaxy 2. And the 95% of the time, you're just playing levels in that game, and they are very good in Mario Galaxy.
It's a game brimming, overflowing with new ideas every 10 to 15 minutes. And they're all incredible. They're all so good. And yeah, I just, man, I love that game.
It's a very good game. Lenny Cool Dick Denver says, I think New Super Mario Bros. 2 came out after 3D Land on the 3DS, but I could be mistaken because I played the game for 15 minutes and decided I was done. Aside from the coin gimmick and the fact that it had paid DLC, I don't remember shit about the game. Edit. Star Allies came up after Planet Robobot, not counting downloading Kirby's. That's pretty disappointing to me. Those are both pretty good answers. Yeah, Star Allies is a big disappointment for me. I think he's right, by the way. I'm pretty sure New Super Mario Bros. 2 did come out after 3D Land and after New Super Mario Bros. Wii U, I think.
Yeah.
So it was like...
The Wii and Wii U versions of New Super Mario Brothers, very good, way better than New Super Mario Brothers 1, and definitely better than New Super Mario 2, Brothers 2, yeah.
Yeah, I think everybody considers it, for the same people who consider New Super Mario Bros. Game part of mainline, they consider it the worst mainline Mario game. Right, and like there's a part of me that sometimes think we're a little too hard on it, but it is very forgettable, and the coin gimmick is not enough to like make it feel any different than the 3 games it is already very similar to.
You know what game I want to go back to and reassess? New Super Luigi U. I think I was too harsh on that one at the time, but maybe I was right. I don't know. We'll see.
I don't know. I played through it when it came out as part of New Super
too.
Mario Bros. U Deluxe, and it was, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Okay.
M.N. Goldie says, does Pac-Man 2 count? It came out on the SNES. I like Pac-Man 2, Jeff. Even then, when I was a kid, it kind of tickled my fancy that they had the balls to release a game called Pac-Man 2, and it was some weird auto runner point and click adventure game.
That's right. Yeah.
Like, it's so weird, and I kind of loved it. I was like, those madmen called this Pac-Man 2. That rules.
I like that too.
I like Pac-Man 2, The New Adventure. But he goes on to say, if not, then Metroid Other M. Honestly, what the fuck? This is the sequel to Super Metroid. Hey, remember how good Prime was on Wii with the pointer and nunchuck? Well, throw away that nunchuck. Don't need that. Everyone loves fixed point shooting. What happens the same as being a badass? Why does she need permission to use her weapons? I know I'm a little bit of an Other M defender, Jeff. Not a very enthusiastic
Not
one
really.
these
Not
days.
anymore.
Yeah.
Every time you actually see someone playing it, no, you're not.
Yeah, when I was watching you play, it's like, this game. Yeah, I get it, especially when you think about it as a sequel to Super Metroid. What could follow that? I mean, Metroid Fusion is also a sequel to Super Metroid, and it's not as good as Super Metroid, but still is good in a way that Other M is not. That's for sure. Vision says, gonna make a real reach here and say Phantom Hourglass, since it is technically a sequel to Wind Waker. The Temple of the Ocean King is an affront to God and an assault on the human intellect. Spirit Tracks was good, though. Also, Luigi's Mansion 2 was so aggressively mid. I almost thought about saying Phantom Hourglass, Jeff, because you know how much I love Wind Waker, and then Phantom Hourglass is one of the very few Zelda games I haven't even beaten. I just kind of fell off it because it was just kind of whatever.
Yep, I really did not like that or Spirit Tracks.
Luigi's Mansion 2 assessment these days is interesting, because at the time, I remember everybody being really impressed and saying it was an improvement over 1. Now, like, 3 is just 2, but so much better. and 1 still kind of feels like it's its own thing. That 1 and 3 are pretty beloved now, and then 2 is stuck in this pretty awkward place.
Yeah.
Super Harmon says, not sure if it fully counts, but Deadly Premonition 2 was a Switch exclusive. Was it a Switch exclusive? Wow. And did make me question if I even liked the original or any sweary games for that matter. I don't even know if that's right. Sweary? Is that how you say that?
I think
SWERY?
it's sweary, but listen,
Sweary.
I never get this stuff right either.
Yeah. In terms of first party Nintendo, I remember just being super interested in even trying the full game after I played the demo for WarioWare Get It Together. I liked WarioWare Get It Together fine, but I'm not a WarioWare guy like you are.
Yeah, I like WarioWare Getting Together as well, but and I am a big WarioWare guy, but it's not as good as the classic WarioWare games.
Making a sequel to Deadly Premonition was always kind of a stupid idea. How do you make a sequel to something? It's like making a sequel to The Room.
Yeah,
You can't do that. Really,
Yeah.
It's not gonna work. You can't capture that magic again.
and I mean, in this one, it was just regular bad.
Yep, and that's not nearly as good. The Ballad of Greasy Thwomp says, listen, if you give me a small platform to bash Animal Crossing New Horizons, I will gladly do so. Oh man, I remember him bashing this before. I think this game took away the more interesting and mean-spirited personality from the animals, the variety of the furniture in the shops. They took fucking Rossetti himself from us, emblematic of what a milk-toasty aura this entry emits. I do love the soundtrack, though. I do hear this from some, like, Animal Crossing super fans,
Yeah.
but I don't know.
Yeah, there are a lot of complaints about the personalities of the villagers. Yeah.
But it must drive them crazy that this is far and away
Yeah.
the best-selling entry in the series.
Totally.
Big Tony says, I have to say it's Mario Rabbids Sparks of Hope. Oh, I very much love the original story, world building, and gameplay, but the sequel just came in and just felt worse. I nearly quit in the first 10 minutes of the game when they asked me to find that Rabbids clothes. It's no wonder people bounced off and didn't come back. Maybe. I do wonder, what's like the completion rate for Sparks of Hope, huh?
Yeah, I would like to. I bet it's pretty decent, especially because it's like a lower number. So the people buying it are the ones that really want it, right?
Maybe. Mr. Bower says, Mario Kart Wii. I found the motion controls more frustrating than fun, and that was the main gimmick of that game. It was, but you kind of had to kind of disbelieve the game that stuff mattered and just turn them off and play it like a normal Mario Kart game. And then it was very good.
You know what I think I don't like? The rabbits talk just with normal English now. Every time I've tried to start that game, and I get to the point where like there's a text bubble above one of the rabbits, like they're just a normal human, and it disgusts me. I don't like it. It's repulsive.
Well, so it's like they understand the problem that rabbits are annoying.
Yeah.
And we don't want any more of that rabbit bullshit anymore. So, let's just make them normal characters. Well, then that's bad too.
That's
Why don't you just
really
have
bad.
characters?
Yeah. And then they leaned it. Yeah, whatever. I'm still gonna play it, but weird.
Bayleaf Moon says Super Mario Brothers. Oh, just Super Mario Brothers 2, not New Super Mario Brothers. Just Super Mario Brothers 2. It got the Star Fox Adventures treatment, and when we had to debate if it's a real Mario game or not, is when you know the sequel failed. FYI, not a real sequel. Lost levels stays winning. Way wrong here, Jeff.
All this is incorrect. Yeah, all this is super
Way wrong.
Yep.
Nobody debates if it's the only people who debate if it's a real Mario game or not are the people who want to sound smart because they know what Doki Doki Panic is, and we're not impressed.
Yes, that's so. Yeah, it's like really outdated at this point because it's like we've so moved on from that conversation. Like, yeah, everyone on the kids knew about, or on the playground knew about Doki Doki Panic. It's a real Mario game. Absolutely, it's also a very fun game.
It's also much better than Lost Levels.
Yeah, Lost Levels is just a broken, mean game.
Level pack.
Yeah, it's fun when you give it to someone else, definitely, but not fun to play.
Tink says it's got to be Star Fox Adventures for me. Star Fox 64 is a perfect game, and to follow it up with the middling rare game was a massive disappointment. They haven't even been able to capture the magic of 64 since, though every game post-Adventures has some redeeming qualities. I almost started playing this on stream today. I asked my chat if they wanted me to play this or Mega Man Legends. Legends won. But I've been meaning to finally play this game. Like a lot of people, Jeff, I couldn't get more than a couple hours into this one before I got annoyed, to be honest.
Yeah, that's where I'm at with that one too. It's just it's missing something. It turns out making a Zelda is real hard.
Right, and just throwing Star Fox at it isn't going to solve the problem. Saiklin says, for me, it's Mario Party 8. Look forward to having a Mario Party on Wii, only after playing 1 and 2 and 64. But it was just not on the same level. Even Wii Party is better. I don't remember 8. I know 9, I think, is the one with where you're on the van, the one that Nick Turbo defends, right?
Yeah, the one where you're all in the same thing together and no one like rolls their individual dice.
Ugh.
Yeah, that's just real bad.
Yeah, it's terrible. So I don't know. A lot of the Mario parties after like 4 aren't very memorable to me until we got Super Mario Party. which was a lot of fun. Wong Gift says, after playing and enjoying the great Doki Doki Panic as a child, I gave the long gap sequel Doki Doki Literature Club to my children, and now I can only see them on weekends. Yeah, that's pretty disappointing, I guess. Velocity Prime says, my answer is Phantom Hourglass. Sad that the DS, perhaps my favorite Nintendo handheld, has 2 mainline Zelda games that are pretty whatever. Yeah, that is because
it's the one Nintendo handheld that only has kind of shit Zeldas, right?
Right, yeah, because like the Zelda games on all the other handhelds are so good. The
Right.
Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, and even 3DS. Well, 3DS has Triforce Heroes, which is a good, but it makes up for it by having two good
Link Between Worlds and the 2 remasters. Yeah.
Yeah, Link Between Worlds is incredible. It's like one of the best Zelda games. So yeah, just weird. Beefhammer says, I know we like to give it some slack for trying to be so different. But Zelda 2 is my answer. I think they tried a bit too early to do a Zelda RPG. 2 main problems for me. I really, really hate the random battles you keep running into in the open world, and the game being brutally difficult makes exploring very frustrating compared to Zelda 1. Would help if it got another Metroid 2 remake style remake.
Oh, that would be awesome.
This is a game you just got to use just on this one. Just use save states, and Zelda 2 is a lot of fun. I defend Zelda 2. Dan Likes Everything says, I'm going to vote for the entire Paper Mario series. Wait, not because of any of the... Oh, okay. Not because any of the games are necessarily bad, because none of them are Super Mario RPG 2. There are a few things in gaming more disappointing than how that game's been treated, and the fact we never got a real sequel is tragic. You know, Jeff, this is actually how I felt about the first Paper Mario. I had a pretty hard time getting into it because early on that game was called in magazines Mario RPG 2.
Mario RPG 64, yeah.
Yeah, and so I was like, oh, great, I hope Gino and Mallow come back and stuff like that. And when it wasn't that, I was kind of a little cold on it. So by the time 1,000 Year Door came out, I was over that and able to get into that one more.
Yep, I mean, you know me, I don't like Donkey Kong not being the star of Donkey Kong Country 2, so I was definitely feeling the same way. I think eventually I got over it and played Paper Mario, but 1,000 Year Door is really where it changed.
The Jan in the Hat says, Super Mario Galaxy 2, not disappointing game. I'm just disappointed it's not on Switch. Okay, you just saved your life there, Jan. Evo Janice says, I'm going to oddly cheat and create an avenue of a sequel on a series of remakes. The Pokemon remakes are their own line in the franchise, so the Gen 4 remakes, Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, are the most disappointing sequels, with a huge drop-off from the Gen 3 remakes. Pokemon Oris, I forget what those stand for now. I'll go Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, remembered. The Pokemon remakes had traditionally been made in the same engine of the current gen and were used to propel the games forward, including in the competitive scene. For Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl to go completely ignore this, go into a Mega Bloks looking chibi style, stay fairly close to the original game, not introducing any real new mechanics, makes this the most disappointing sequel. Yeah, I totally understand that. It really did used to just be that the remakes were taking an old game and just making it whenever the newest one was, and they just cheaped out. They just said, well, we don't want to do that because that would be expensive now. So we had to make an HD Pokemon game on Switch with like a 3D camera and stuff. So they just, they just made a chibi version of it. And it's Diamond and Pearl, like those are fun games and it's fun still, I'm sure, but it definitely was kind of not what people were expecting. And if they do that with Black and White, which are games I actually care about, I'd be pretty bummed out.
Yep, definitely.
Next one here from Pablo Costa says, excuse me, but there's only one answer to this question. Yoshi's New Island. The levels are lame, the mechanics disappointing, and do I have to remind everyone about that ugly-ass soundtrack? Hit the play button, Grubb. I do believe this is the worst one. It's worse than even Yoshi's Island DS. Oh my god, that's right. I think this is the Battle of Wonderworld people, by the way. My god.
Fucking destroy it. This is a crime.
What the hell? How dare they even have the words Yoshi's and Island in this title?
I should maybe have maybe we should play this on Blight Club.
Maybe. Well, how dare you stand where they said? Because it won't be as worse as some other games of Blight Club, but the fact that it's a sequel to Yoshi's Island is just so infuriating.
Yes, absolutely.
Pennywise says, mine is a bit of a cheat. When I think of a disappointing Nintendo sequel, my brain always jumps to Majora's Mask. Ocarina was and still is my favorite game of all time. When I heard rumors on the playground that they were making a sequel, I would call my local game shop, Media Play Store. It was a Denver thing. Jeff might remember. And I would ask if they had Ocarina of Time 2 yet. I was a dumb 10-year-old. When it finally came out, my older cousin got it and told me it was awful. I believed him, and I was so upset I didn't even bother trying it for myself. Luckily, I ended up getting it for Christmas the next year by accident, and I ended up loving it. Oh, okay. That's when I realized my cousin had bad taste and learned to trust Nintendo. I can't see some people, especially kids, though, getting Majora's Mask and being like, what the hell is this?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I can totally understand that happening. Screaming Madden says, perhaps it's Mario Tennis Aces for me. I really enjoyed the live demo, but after 2 weeks, I dropped this game, which simply doesn't hold a candle to Mario Tennis 64 or Power Tennis on the GameCube. I never played the Wii U tennis game, which is supposed to be worse, but the underwhelming single-player mode and lacking online left me disappointed. Also, no opening cutscene when you boot up the game at launch. Where's Mr. Eyeballs? Yeah, those Camelot cartoons that they had in those other games were pretty fantastic, with Wario and Waluigi just being stinkers, huh?
Yes, definitely.
Lostian says, hello, gentlemen. I'm not sure this counts as a sequel, but I was disappointed by Mario Sunshine on the GameCube. It didn't live up to its predecessor, Mario 64. I mean, it's definitely not as good as Mario 64. I think even Mario Sunshine defenders would have a hard time making that argument.
Yeah, definitely not.
Ben JC says, hello, Meatmen. I never played a Star Fox game before Star Fox Zero, but somehow when I played it, I knew it was a disappointing sequel. I got it around launch. I think it's real bad when a 12-year-old knows the game is shit.
Yeah.
I was a I was a Star Fox Zero defender also, Jeff. I wonder if I would feel the same if I played it again. I had fun with it. It was short. It's kind of the biggest thing, but I didn't find the controls too awkward. I got used to them eventually, but I don't know. I'm kind of a genius with controls. I just played Resident Evil 1 with the take controls, and I was like, this is fine. Like this doesn't
you're
bother
savant,
me.
totally.
Yeah,
you know what?
I'm a
I'll
genius.
say you're an idiot savant. Emphasis on the idiot part.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'll assume that's a compliment. Hops says, I know the modern 2D Mario games aren't even that great, but I really wanted New Super Mario Bros. 2 to be good and do something different. More coins was not the answer,
Fuck
and
no.
it feels like it killed 2D Mario.
I'm glad it killed New Super Mario Brothers. Like that,
Yeah.
it did a service in that regard. Maybe that
Thank
makes it
you.
one of the best modern 2D Marios.
We salute you, New Super Mario Bros. 2. It's just also fucked up that they called it New Super Mario Bros. 2 when it was like the fourth one.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah,
what the-
that whole series just got a lot of messed up stuff happening.
Chaos Buckaroo says, I will take a different approach to disappointing. The sequel I am most disappointed with is Luigi's Mansion 3. I'm not disappointed in the game itself, but in my enjoyment of it. I know it's a really good game, and I have no reason not to like it, but I could just never get it into it no matter how hard I tried. It's very disappointing to not enjoy a game I should love. Hopefully it'll click with me in the future. I mean, sometimes that thing kind of happens, Jeff. Like,
Yeah.
I've been like that with Earthbound. I talked about it before. I should like Earthbound. It's like this quirky JRPG. It's a Super Nintendo classic. I've started it so many times, and somehow I just never really click with Earthbound. I even love games that are inspired by Earthbound, like Undertale, and I still just haven't really gotten into Earthbound. Jeremy Biff says Kirby Star Allies wasn't bad, but it wasn't as good as the 3DS games. Oh yeah, Kirby Star Allies is nowhere near as good as Triple Deluxe or Planet Robobot, which were amazing. It's like they decided, oh, we had to make this for babies. Like literally, people, you know how people make the joke that Nintendo games were for babies? What if that was real? That's what we're gonna do with this one. Octo says Golden Sun Dark Dawn was just straight up bad and boring. Also, the Rhythm Heaven game on the DS wasn't as good as the other ones. Neither was Mario Luigi Partners in Time as a sequel to Super Star Saga. Yeah, I remember liking the Rhythm Heaven on DS.
Yeah, I played a shit ton of that. My wife did too. I think she like 100%ed it.
I know with the Mario and Luigi games, I mean, it's weird because there are 5 of them, but really, it seems like people pretty much just like the first one and Bowser's Inside Story, and then the Luigi Goes to Sleep one is kind of okay, and then I don't even know how people feel about. It's very long, and the pacing is terrible. There's a tutorial every 2 minutes,
right?
And I don't think I ever even tried the weird one where Paper Mario shows up.
Oh, I didn't either. Yeah, but Partners in Time is it's disappointing compared to Superstar Saga for sure.
Chrono Bound says, personally, my most disappointing Nintendo sequel was Fire Emblem Fates. It doubled down on the weaker parts from Awakening, with battles plodding along slower than ever before, with none of the charm. Never before was a single game been so disappointing that I've almost entirely lost interest in the franchise. Technically, it's 3 games, but the special edition gave me all on one card, so who's counting? I mean, I consider it all one game. But yeah, I mean, I talked about this earlier, how Fates is kind of just the worst version of Awakening, so I could totally see it being disappointing.
I was disappointed by it, for sure.
Gartoof has a good point, that that Partners in Time was disappointing. When they were doing remakes, they just kind of skipped it, right? Like, we'll just remake the 3rd one. The Uncharted Wolf says, remember Smash 4? Ooh. Remember how bad the single-player options were? Remember how they split up content between the 3 3DS and Wii U versions. And the 3DS got the wildly creative Smash Run, and the Wii U version got a dollar value version of Mario Party. Remember how Classic Mode and All-Star Mode was just 8-player Smash over and over again? Remember how the DLC was 3 returning characters, 2 of them clones, 1 bland Fire Emblem character, and 3 actual cool characters? Remember how most of the metagame was just hiding in shields and going for grab combos? Remember how Bayonetta made competitive Smash the most boring thing to watch? Remember how they called the games Super Smash Brothers for Nintendo 3DS and Wii U instead of actual creative titles? I remember.
I mean, he's pretty creative to call it Smash 4. Instead of the number, it's the word 4. That's pretty good.
I never even got that, and I was like, maybe you should have just used the number there and really drive if they were actually going for it. I mean, he's right on a lot of points here, but
Brawl is right there, though.
Yeah, Brawl's right there, and Brawl has tripping.
Yeah, Brawl's like over there, like, oh shit. I'm like, don't see me, don't look at me, but yeah, I'm right over here.
Like, Brawl was so disappointing that Smash 4 just looked good because it was undoing some of Brawl's badness. But
yeah,
like Smash 4's big problem is that Ultimate is just a better Smash 4, so there's no reason to ever play it again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Blake says, to pick something not talked about yet, I'd say Fire Emblem Three Houses was a real bummer for me. I'm a big fan of tactics games, and the idea of expanding on the social elements with the hub setting with story choices was pretty interesting. Instead, it felt like they took a step down with the tactics to focus on a story that was too long and characters that didn't really grab me. I think it was a little too wide and not deep enough all around. Jeff, I hate when things are too wide and not deep.
Yeah, I know that's a big problem. Usually, I'm not gonna say it.
Especially vaginas and buttholes.
Okay. I'm just never not talking about your penis hole for once.
But anyways, Gratota's Bazoongas says Yoshi's Crafted World. It's just an absolutely bland platformer. It's no neck to. One Up versus CPU says, whoa, Metroid Dread is what I felt after learning that Mercury Steam was making another Metroid after Samus Returns. Wait, what? Metroid Dread? It is what? Oh my god, he doesn't like Metroid Dread? Or is he just not like Samus Returns? I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's hard to say.
He better not dislike Metroid Dread. That game rules.
See, I can see
Samus Returns.
Samus Returns is like a tough one. It's
a little bland.
Yeah, Metroid Dread
I get that.
rules.
Metroid Dread is fantastic. Now Yuzu is my best friend. Says I'm outing myself as a maddened, poisonous radio transmitter, but it's Bayonetta 3. Everything aside from some quality of life in this game is massively inferior to its predecessors. Despite being warned about how bad the story is, especially the ending, I'm shocked at how horrendous it ended up being. I was a huge Bayonetta fan prior to this game. This game was so disappointing and points the franchise in such a bad direction, story and gameplay wise. I honestly prefer they didn't make another Bayonetta game if this is what they are doing.
Jesus.
So, I mean, I hear this from people, especially fans. Yeah, it's such
like
a
brutal terms that he's putting in. Just like feels like it's over for Bayonetta based on reading that.
Yeah, and it was just. Well, they have that weird spinoff coming out soon, which is just bizarre to me still, whatever that thing is.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but I mean, for a game that, again, I keep saying this, like, man, for a game that has an 89 on Metacritic, I hear sentiments like this a lot from people just being very disappointed in it. G-Man Sir says the most disappointing Nintendo sequel is this episode of Last of the Nintendogs. Last week was much better. Shoji Koto says, The Legend of Zelda CDI games, those things were absolutely cursed. When I was younger, I found them extremely disappointing, especially after following Link to the Past and Link's Awakening, and how great those were. I've contemplated trying to go back and play them recently in the hopes that they're one of those so bad it's funny / bearable experiences. Don't know if I can actually bring myself to do it. So there you go, Jeff. The Zelda CI games actually are almost so bad they're funny, though. I can kind of give them a pass.
You could do that on stream. You'll have some good time with some friends or whatever. That'd be fun. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I would like to say in chat, in all caps, Nick Turbo said it's called Doiki Doiki Panic in Japan, and that's just incorrect. It is not called that. Super Mario Bros. 2 is a remake of Doiki Doiki Panic, and then that game got put in Japan as Super Mario USA, so go to hell.
I think he was mocking the people who say that, though, Jeff, to be fair.
That's not... Nick Turbo's never done that. Nope.
I know it's weird for me to be defending Nick Turbo, but I think he's on our side.
Get back in your mod hole, Nick Turbo. I don't care.
All right. Jeff, next week we're going to go back to box art. We're going to go to Game Boy. We're going to do the portable systems now. So we're going to share our favorite Game Boy box art, not Game Boy Color. That will be separate since it's a separate, distinct platform. So there you go. And if you're scared about the games that work on both, follow your heart. Jeff, let's talk about games we've been playing this week. Then we'll give super chats and one more roundup here. Have you been playing anything Nintendo related?
I mean, I play the Switch all the time, but it's all Kirby and Piku Niku and stuff like that.
What the hell's Piku Niku?
It's a Devolver Digital joint. I think it's Devolver Digital. It's a weird little. I don't know if it looks like really cheap. It looks like it's a kid's game. I mean, it is for kids, but you play as these little guys, go around the world, and have to like solve tiny puzzles. Like, you scared away the birds from the mom, and so you got to go help find the birds, and they're like hidden around the world. And I don't know, it's really simple, but also kind of it's got like the subversive element to it, where there's always like this weird stuff happening with the dialogue, where the characters are kind of a little bit more mature than you would expect, but not in any like incendiary way. But it's, I don't know, it's overall fun game. But it also has a co-op mode where there's a bunch of co-op levels and like characters can race in these little cars. And it's a 2D game, so it's pretty easy for the kids to play. They really like it. Addie calls it the Meep game. So yeah, it's
Meep of the year.
Yeah, it's one I bought it on Stadia, so I might play it tomorrow as like a send off before Stadia closes. So we'll see.
Well, I had another GameCube night recently, and I kind of already talked about Mary Kate and Ashley's Sweet 16 lessons to drive. That was a pretty fun stream, I have to say. I had more fun with this than I should have. I got to get like you and Dan to play it with me sometime.
Yeah, I would like that. I did get the Parsec PC set up, so we can do stuff like that real easily now.
Ooh, that'd be fun. It's a bad Mario Party clone, but it's bad in a lot of funny ways. It's definitely it's so bad it's good kind of thing. Like the mini, it's like Whose Lines It Anyways. The mini games don't even matter because all you get is coins, but you win the game by picking up friends by landing on spots so you can take them to your party. Whoever brings the most friends to the party wins. But it's not like Mario Party. You can't use like the money to buy friends. You could, if you're lucky.
Game's not realistic then.
No, you can. Well, you can land on like a spot where a store is, and you can buy a cell phone. And you can use a cell phone to steal friends. But like, it is
very realistic. Never mind.
Yeah, my game lasted like 2 hours. I never landed on a spot to go to a store. So,
okay, weird. Yeah. That sounds fantastic.
And it has like the mini games are just absurd. It's insane. It's very funny. I had way too much fun. It's a very good game to play on stream. So yeah, you know, like sometimes you like something so much that even when it's bad, you like it. I always kind of said that about like the 90s era of Star Trek, right? So like even Voyager isn't very good and has a lot of bad episodes, but I could still like watch it and enjoy it because it just has that essence to it. I'm kind of there with the GameCube, where even when like things on GameCube are bad, I somehow still just enjoy it. In fact, it's way worse when something's just kind of mediocre, which was the case with Shrek 2, which I heard people say. People say like, "Oh, this is not that bad." I was playing it, and it was pretty average. The fun thing about it, I think, is that it is a 4-player co-op 3D platformer. So maybe if I was playing it with friends, I'd enjoy it more. But I was just running around. It's like, you know, you have an attack button, and you know, you jump and you do some things, and you know, there's bad sound alikes for everything, and there's bad writing because they're trying to be funny because the movie's funny, but these people aren't funny writers, so they pick characters to say things. I don't know. I was not feeling Shrek 2. You know, I played that Shrek fighting game, and that was a big surprise. That was actually pretty good. I wasn't really getting into Shrek 2, I'm afraid. Maybe if I played it with multiplayer.
Sorry to hear that. I know how important Shrek is to you, especially after that last GameCube game that was pretty good. The wrestling
like that was like that was like a big surprise. So I was like, oh, I bet this will actually be great, and it's not. So, but oh well, Jeff. The beat goes on. Ba-da-doom.
I've also been playing Mike Tyson's Punch Out to get ready for Grubber Lang's Punch Out tomorrow, which will be on Giant Bomb, where I will try to beat Mike Tyson. I've been playing on the Analog Pocket with so it's FPGA, and it feels really good. It's a good way to play those kinds of games. I am wondering if I'm going to have what it takes. I don't think I've ever beat Mike Tyson. I really love that game. I played it a ton of times, but I really just enjoy the process of like slowly going through each fighter and getting most of the way to the end. But I have beaten like the equivalent last bosses in the Punch Out for Wii and Super Punch Out. So I'm like, I those probably aren't quite as hard as Mike Tyson, but I'm like worried I'm not going to be very good. So we'll see.
I beat Mike Tyson at some point. I may have used save states, not to like save in the middle of fights, but you know, before each fight, so I wouldn't like go all the way back with that kind of a thing.
Well, I mean, I'll just use the Mike Tyson code and we'll go right there. So
right. So if you can do that, you'll figure it out. I mean, it's the same as everything else. It's a pattern. It's just faster reflexes.
Yeah, I'm gonna do my best. We'll see. Hopefully, I can take it on and then begin learning speedrunning patterns and things like that, and have to get to a point where I can actually play the whole entire game pretty fast. Dan just set a new personal best recently, so I think he's down to like 36 minutes. That's pretty impressive stuff. Cool. Yeah, I think he's a top like 60 in the world now or something like that. So
cool.
Yeah, pretty good stuff. So I'm gonna try to race him, and at some point we'll get to a point where maybe we can do like a live event where we race each other in Mike Tyson's Punch Out.
He said I should get into it too, but I don't want to, neon white it where I get so good that you guys give up.
Oh, we appreciate that. Thank you so much, Mike.
You're welcome.
Yeah, so gracious.
For you.
Yeah.
Let's check in on the last bit of the super chats, huh?
Yeah, let's see here. Let me go ahead and see if I can find where the new ones are. They are down here. There we go. All right, from Burrito. Yeah, there we go. From Burrito, heard something about Wah Peach being denied existence. The Bowsette perverts are patient. I think this is fair. You guys will keep waiting. We will keep waiting. Of course.
That really caught on for a hot second there, to the point where I almost forgot it wasn't actually a thing.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's like, oh man, and Nintendo eventually will learn that that's the key to making all the money in the world. Just a little Bowsette action. From Nintendo, Mario Party 9 or 10 for this topic. So yeah, those are both disappointing.
I think those are the ones with the car.
Yeah. From Gartooth. Animal Crossing City Folk was just a copy paste of Wild World from DS and added so little new that I usually forget the Wii had a new Animal Crossing. Yeah, I never played that one.
Isn't this the one where they had that really stupid mounted microphone for your TV, and that's how you're supposed to voice?
Right, the Nintendo Voice Channel, was that one? Yeah, I think that's what that was. That's where that term,
what are you guys talking
comes from.
Yeah. What's
wrong
with you guys?
Yeah, that was Nintendo. I tell you, and then I go explain that to my great grandfather from World War II. From AR Not Skywalker or R Not Skywalker, Mike, hear me out. Black/white HD 2D remakes.
I mean, that's what I want.
That's the right answer for that.
Those games were the last ones with sprite graphics, and they were fantastic. So if you do just try to do chibi 3D models, it's going to be a downgrade. So what are we doing here?
But they are going to do 3D because they think that's the only way they could charge $60 or probably by then $70 for it.
Well, they would have to find a studio that's good at 2D sprite graphics. Does Nintendo work with any of those right now?
I don't know. I mean, maybe they can ask Square Enix for help with the HD 2D stuff, but they're almost certainly not going to do that. No. Yeah, I don't know.
They're not going to get Square Enix to help them make a Pokemon game. They're just not.
Yeah. From El Grug, as someone who played Command & Conquer and StarCraft on N64, Star Fox Zero is the worst controlling console game I've ever played.
Wow. Well, then I am a savant because it didn't bother me at all. Yep. I'm just impervious to bad controls, I guess, Jeff.
Yep, I guess so. I guess that explains a lot.
Just a genius that adapts to anything.
Yeah, you are the most adaptable, the survival of the fittest, and it's equivalent to survival of the Mike Minotti.
I agree with that.
That does it for Super Chats, Mike.
All right, then, everyone. Like I said, next week, favorite Game Boy box art. So that is something to look forward to. Me and you will probably have played some Fire Emblem Engage. So I guess we'll see if I've been panicking for no reason or clickbaiting, I suppose, like some people say. Yeah, but we'll see. I'm hopeful. Hey Jeff, I'm going to be on Game Best Morning tomorrow, right?
Yes, you are. Come join me for that. We'll talk about video game news.
All right, that'll be fun. Hopefully, yeah. I'm sure there always is something to talk about, huh?
Yeah, I was already seeing some stories. I'm like, that'll be fun to put on there. We'll have good conversations about it. So looking forward to all that.
All right, well, that's good. And then Thursday, we'll be back with Game Mess Decide. We need to come up with a topic for that. We'll set up a poll right after this. We're done recording here for Hall of Fame. We have ideas there.
Keep an eye on the Discord. I got some topics I'm going to throw in there. They contribute to, but just if you're interested in participating, just go check out the Discord. Discord.gg/GameMess.
Nick Turbo says my heart's going to grow 3 sizes after playing Engage. We'll see.
Yeah.
Maybe once I see the waifus, I'll be like, oh, it really is just about the waifus. You don't need good story if you have waifus.
Yeah.
The new Final Fantasy 14 raid, though, had more than enough waifus for me. And they're big. Gigantus would like them.
Yeah. Shout out to the Gigantus. He got this.
You mean the writer?
No, the pirate.
Come on, go cruising. Let's go cruising. Let's go cruising.
was too close. You were almost a Jill sandwich.
You're right. Barry, thanks for saving my life.
Enjoy your sandwich.
Eat ass.
Sandwich.